Hi.
Hello. Can you hear us? Make sure you can.
Yes.
Everybody can hear us
Hold on.
before we go any further. This journey.
Into the unknown.
Ooh, into the shadows.
Yes. What's it called? Into the shadows.
Into the shadows.
Into the Unknown was my paranormal docu-series. The Q-series.
Yes.
So, it's been a while.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
I guess that's what we're here for tonight.
My spiritual anniversary.
Or is your witch anniversary? Make sure your camera's on you.
I know. I'm
coming out of that circle.
I'm trying to center it. There we go. Is that good?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Yes, it is a spiritual anniversary. Thank you. 14 years.
Practicing magic and stuff, right?
I wouldn't say just practicing magic. It is a journey into the shadows.
14 years in the making.
Okay, so I have notes trying to hold on. I also wanted to briefly touch on the types of witches because I had rescheduled and canceled that one quite a few times, and I know some of you have been wanting it. So I will.
We appreciate you, Kaiju Kitty. Thank you so much, bud.
Oh yay! Thank you. If I sound tired, it's because I've been doing stuff all day, making aprons, running around.
Everybody celebrate her also. A little celebration today.
Oh yeah.
She sold her first apron today.
Yes, I did.
One that she posted today.
The Christmas apron.
Yeah,
the Yule. I call it the Yuletide apron.
Yeah,
like
she sold
winter.
it. Less than 24 hours.
Yeah. Thanks to
very,
TikTok.
Very proud of you for that. You did a great job. I thank everybody for being here. There's a lot of people here right now.
Yes. Action Figure Addict, Alpha, Role Keeper, Francie,
Action Figure Addict, Alpha,
JMK,
Role Keeper, JMK Custom, Kaiju stopped in.
Yep.
Francie Brady is here now.
Oh, thank you.
And a finally crafted apron it was. Yes, she did a great
you.
job. Very proud of her.
I'm starting on my second one already. That's what I was doing earlier. My eyes like hurt already. Like the bright lights of the screen combined with messing with thread that didn't want to cooperate. Trying to make the pockets for the new candy apron.
Yes, she's making a candy apron.
Candy apron. Candy Christmas apron. So
are you going to start with types of witches?
Well, I think I'm going to weave that in.
Okay.
And then if I didn't cover anything, I will have a moment for at the end. The spirits and alcohol thing, I was trying to do research briefly on that just now, and I think that needs its whole episode with a lot more research. So I will put that off for now. Because also I can't immediately find what I was thinking of. It wasn't really saying that what I thought. I thought Al Ghul, which is the term
Al Ghul?
Yes, it's from that. It means demon.
Yeah.
I thought that's where the word alcohol originates from, but I couldn't find anything saying that, so I have to. You did ask for that.
I did.
Yeah. So I will have to. I think I need a certain kind of needle or a certain kind of machine to make leather, but I definitely will do that.
I would love a heavy duty apron. I said that to you.
Yeah. Either canvas or leather or a combo of both.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. I need to get a pattern for men's aprons though, because these are very fitted,
very feminine.
Feminine, yeah. So I don't think they'll work for guys. So I have to get that.
I told you, just the standard apron pattern.
Yeah.
Because usually guys wear just the standard smock looking apron.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so as I was saying, the alcohol one will be a whole different episode when I do my research on that. I want very detailed historical references and stuff. That's cute. Yes, because he is the cook. I don't. I clean. So that will be good.
Or you can get the ever popular X-rated one that says "Suck the Cook."
Oh my god, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, they had Shawn Michaels wore it in WWF.
Wow. Custom made, or they already sell that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. He just had it on. It was funny as shit.
That's hilarious.
Just tailor it to his
B-spot. Okay, so I wish I had all my journals, but I'll get into that. Why I don't have them. But hold on.
Yeah,
Open my
somebody
notes.
was an asshole to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my tradition before, when I had a, what's it called, a trunk, you know, the trunk I have at home with full of the camera equipment now,
Yeah. Yeah.
literal, like a trunk like college kids bring to school,
Mhm.
full of their stuff, you know.
Yeah. The old school like
I had that.
chests.
Full to the brim of both notebooks, journals, and occult books. Of like, I think at the time, like, what I remember is 4 years. No, it can't be 4 years, and that's only 2014. 6 years, maybe 6 to 8 years worth of full journals, full notebooks of like my detailed, like, notes on meditations, rituals, spells, research, all that stuff. And I am a grandma.
Definitely is a grandma.
100%.
And the trunk is definitely something you would see in a grandma's house.
I knit. I
Yeah.
sew aprons. I'm definitely a grandma.
Oh, thank you, Ken's Toys.
Thank you. I was gonna do something different, but that was good. I forgot to like upload one specific for this. I also didn't know what to make as a background for this.
Consider, yeah, it's specific to your anniversary of your.
Yeah, but it'll do. My like tradition would be to just go through and read all that. I remember doing it in college. I don't remember like what year it was. Maybe 6 or 8 year. Because I started in 2010, so that's why it's 14 years anniversary. But like I just remember going. That would just be how I would celebrate. Just go through all my journals and books and see how far I've come. But I'll get into it from the beginning. Okay.
What led you to this? The witchcraft.
My brother, actually, because I grew up Catholic. Like, I call it the fake Catholic, where you just go through the motions.
Okay.
You just go to the school, you do Bible study, all that. Not Bible study, I didn't do that. It was like the like cultural Catholic experience, where I went to a Catholic, because like my parents were like, I think just culturally Catholic, not like fully, or at least I don't know. I'm not speaking for them, but it was more just like, it wasn't like they weren't devout enough to pray or go to church, you know, but like they were still like, we follow Catholic ways.
Okay.
So it was like we went to Catholic school. We didn't go to Bible study, we didn't do church, we didn't do any of that, but it was still like
I did.
Catholic. I know you did.
Yeah, I did this, Francie.
I just did communion late.
Yeah,
I'll get into that.
Confirmated, if you will.
I did not get to that. I just did first communion. But anyway, so I did preschool.
You know, technically, we can't get married until you have your confirmation.
Seriously? I'll get it. I don't give a shit.
It's technically, if you want to get married in a Catholic church, you would have to, but I don't want to marry you in a Catholic church.
I wouldn't mind.
I know you wouldn't mind, but I'm just saying, if you wanted to get married.
A 30-year-old doing confirmation, I'll do it. I don't give a shit.
Church legend.
He already is, right? He already got confirmed. Anyway.
I was confirmed in 7th grade.
Oh, cute. Okay, wait. So, preschool to 3rd grade?
Have you ever been smacked on the knuckles by nuns?
No.
Asking for a friend.
I was friends with a nun teacher. But they weren't nuns. They were just like religious old ladies. It wasn't like so Catholic in that they were nuns.
Okay.
It wasn't that hardcore. I mean, some probably were nuns, but like they weren't in the habit or anything like that.
Yeah.
The like principal was like the priest or something like that. But yeah. Oh wow. I'll get into that because like I'm very interested in religion, which is why this is like 14-year anniversary.
You still read the Bible?
Yeah, I just started again. We'll get into that. But Aww. That's so cute. That's why when you just said that confirmation, I'll be like, I'll do it. I don't give a shit.
I know you would, but I don't, because No, I don't believe. No.
I'll get into it.
I don't believe in that mumbo jumbo.
Stop.
Yeah.
Anyway, so preschool to 3rd grade, I think, was my Catholic school experience, so it wasn't very long.
Okay.
But yeah, so grew up Catholic, was very into it, like as in believed. Wait, what was? Hold on.
Yes.
Oh, you were told that at 10 years old?
Yeah.
That's crazy. No.
Sister.
Hold on. Pause on the comments so I can get
Get
thoughts out.
you started. I'm sorry.
Okay, so pre 2010. Okay, yeah. So nothing. Well, okay. I already told the story, probably like every stream now, about the cubby, right? Where that was in kindergarten, not preschool.
Yeah, when you went in the thing, everybody said not to.
Everyone's like running out of this cubby scared. I'm like, why are people running from this scared? So I went in there. I'm like, oh, it's just the dark. I'm like, these people literally are scared of the dark. So this is kindergarten, whatever age I am in kindergarten, and I'm just like I go in the cubby and I'm like literally like this is what they're running from. Like I was just upset. I was like, I kind of like, I mean, I didn't like, what's the word? Consciously make it my MO, but it was kind of subconsciously my MO from then on to kind of figure out why people are scared of certain things.
Okay.
So, like, even then, I remember making paper vampire fangs just like they did in Little Vampire in kindergarten in class. Like, I was always into that shit, apparently, because I loved the movie Little Vampire. That'll give you a year on when that was, when my kindergarten was when that movie came out, I think. Unless it was later.
It had to be like late 90s, obviously.
Early 2000s.
Yeah, year
yeah.
2000 because you were born in 95.
Yeah. So it was always there, like inklings. Then I remember asking my dad if Santa was real. Oh, I was very hardcore in believing in Santa, right? Then, like, my parents did things where it would make me believe more. Like, my dad dressed up as Santa. They would, like, have presents appear.
Yeah.
Like, my mom made us look and see Santa leaving presents with my dad in the costume. Like, they would leave a trail of toys to the tree. Like, they, like, fostered belief in things, you know? Like, mainly Santa. But, so I don't know what happened, but maybe someone at school was like, oh, Santa's not real, blah, blah. So I fought them. Like, not physically fought them, but I, like... No, that was after. So I asked my dad, is Santa real? And he's like, you want me to actually tell you? I was like, yeah. He's like, no, he's not. But that didn't deter me. I was still like, I'm a fight for this, you know? So, like, I remember, like, at the little water fountain in 2nd grade, someone was like, Santa's not real. And I was literally, like, getting angry. Like, I had already been told at this point that he's not. And I was still being like, yes, he is.
Were you in denial?
No. Because I knew the importance of believing.
Okay.
I was like, to me, it didn't matter that he wasn't real.
Okay.
You know? I hate James and the Giant Peach action figure addict. That shit gave me nightmares. And I hate that movie. It's so disturbing. I don't know why.
Tim Burton movie?
Yeah, I don't like. I used to like Tim Burton because I thought as a goth kid I had to, but his shit's very disturbing to me. Oh wow, that's awesome. But
It's fact.
I'll have a whole episode on aliens and starseeds. I'm an alien,
Cheers.
but what did I say I was? I used to think I was Arcturian, but I used to think I was Andromedan too. I don't remember what I thought I was. But anyway, that's a whole episode. But anyway, so go up to 2nd grade. 2nd or 3rd grade. Catholic school, different Catholic school now. We moved towns and stuff like that. I liked, we had mass like every Wednesday, and I really wanted to like, they would like call out, oh, find this Bible verse. And I would like scramble my cute little, it's so funny. I had a little white Bible when I was a kid. So I got another white Bible, just because I loved how it looked. Thank you, Jeff. It's been a road. But
What led you to me?
yes. Yeah, Francis said we're all made of star stuff.
Fact.
Um,
I wish I had that Pete Holmes joke. The molecules. I made a molecule.
oh yeah. I wish you could pop that up.
Yeah, it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, okay, so I'm in a different school. I'm like still into all. I'm like very into. I don't know if it was the goody two shoes, me liking religion, or me wanting to. It was probably just the goody two shoes aspect. But obviously I still liked learning about shit because I wouldn't be so into it still after all this time. That like in mass they'd be like, oh, find this Bible verse, and I would get so pissed that everyone could just immediately find it and I could never, because you get to read it in front of everyone during mass, and I was a shy ass kid. I don't know why I wanted to do that so bad.
Yeah.
But I was like, would get so pissed that I couldn't find it in time, and like I just wanted to be that person to like raise their hand and read it first. Like once, but I think someone else got called. Like one time I actually found it, and then someone else got called. I know. I think that's just the nerd aspect. So I don't know if it was like
fucking nerd. I love you.
I love you. So I don't know if it was like, oh, it wasn't. There was no interest in what it said. It was just being first. So it was just a nerdy thing, right?
Yeah.
So then, in that school, oh hey.
How you doing, Sam?
Yes.
Talking about star jizz and.
Not yet. We're doing backstory.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Origin story.
Every hero has a backstory.
Exactly. So, so then like, I don't know if it's because she like sensed my interest / innocence or whatever, or my mom specifically told her I need to do communion, but this one teacher like took me under her wing.
Yeah.
She was not a nun, but like she might as well be, you know, like kind of strict, but also like nice to me.
Okay.
I don't know if it was because I was a new kid. Again, like I said, maybe my mom said that I had to get communion, so she was like, you know.
Yeah.
She was like my teacher of my class though. But so anyway, I just remember the first time, because that was me when I was trying to read the verses first. I was in the other school. So in this school, there would be a church right next to the actual school. So we'd all just go outside to the actual church.
Okay.
Before or after lunch, I don't remember. And the first time that we actually went to church that week, because I was new to the school, I always like think it was one of like my main memories, is I just started crying.
Oh, really?
No explanation. I don't know if it was social anxiety with all the people, because I was very, very, very shy. I did not even speak. Like that's why me doing podcasts is like mind blowing.
Yeah.
Because like I did not speak to anyone. I did not raise my hand. I like was so shy. It was insane. But like it was probably just anxiety, me thinking on it. But like I like to think of it as like like one of the points of my spiritual journeys. Like, why did I cry? Like bawling, crying, not like sobbing, like not making a lot of noise. But like, I mean, obviously I was making noise because people were looking at me. But like, our class is supposed to like go up into the pews, but like the teacher saw me crying, obviously, so she took me back to like where she was sitting, and I just sat next to her until I stopped crying. I stopped crying at some point, then I started crying again, and I think it was because I didn't know what to do, because that was the first time I was actually like in an actual church.
Okay.
I mean, besides like my baptism when I was a baby, but like I said, my family didn't go to church, so I never experienced this. It was just Catholic school.
Yeah.
So then this was like the first time it was like mass in an actual church. And like I said, the other school was mass in the gym, where the guy would just like find Proverbs 31 or whatever. And it's like, it's funny I said that one because that's the one I'm trying to study most.
Yeah.
But like, you know, so it was like an actual thing. So then I was like, I moved a ton too, but it was, my dad was in an army, but I liked all my houses, apartments, houses. So yeah, so I just was crying. She like would quietly like tell me what we're doing, like that thing about the like cross this.
Yeah.
I didn't know what they were doing, so she like told me what to do, like the sign of the cross, told me how to do that, when to kneel and all that shit. And then I was like, so I stopped crying enough. Well, I don't remember crying any other time. But like, I also don't know because then I remember then we had to do confession and shit. I'm like in 3rd grade. What am I gonna confess? So I literally made shit up. It's like I was mean to my mom, I guess. Like they were like the priest was like it was like you had to do so. I couldn't understand like what I understand now about religion and stuff. Like I don't know repentance as a 3rd grader, you know?
Yeah, you don't get it.
Yeah. So he's like, so I was like, well, I have to say something.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I lied to her, or I was mean to her, or I was mean to my brother, some shit like that. He's like, okay, go say 10 Hail Marys or all that stuff. No, again, I'm new to the school. I'm new to all this. Like, yeah, I went to Catholic school, but there's nothing like this. There's no Bible study. There was no like, there's just math in the other school. So it's like, I don't know any of this. Then, so I would just like kneel at the thing, pretend I did like 1 or 2, and then sit back down. My favorite thing was the wafers. That's why I'm obsessed to this day about the wafers.
I don't know why.
The communion wafers is just so
good.
It tastes
like nothing.
I know, but I love like the texture and everything. It's just so weird. I love it. That's a whole other remind me to go back to the wafers, okay? And when I get to the college section,
we are so the opposite. You know, when I used to go to church with my family, and they used to be like, "Come on, get up, you got to do communion." I used to be like, "Those things are disgusting. They taste like cardboard."
And you're not supposed to chew it.
I know you're supposed to let it dissolve in your tongue.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, so Francie, they melt.
Yeah, they melt on your tongue.
It's fun. They're so much fun.
Yeah.
But anyway, so anyway, there was like a weird. I don't know. I was gonna say lack of interest, but there's interest if I'm still obsessed with this shit at 29. But like at the time, it's like not irreverent because I wasn't being an asshole. I just didn't get it, but I liked it. But I didn't care enough. Does that make sense? I don't know. But they're brutal. Oh my god! One time I almost had a panic attack because it got stuck to the roof of my mouth, and I was like, "Holy shit! I can't chew this!" And I couldn't. It was like peanut butter. Like I couldn't get it off with my tongue, and I wasn't gonna like shove my finger in there. I had that for the first time when I went to an Episcopal church, and I was like, I never drank or anything like that. Obviously, I didn't drink before, but I'm like, how are they gonna do? I thought they stopped with the wine, like after COVID or whatever. So I'm like, how are they gonna do this? Like, I'll get to the whole Episcopal church.
I used to think it was grape juice.
No.
Like I used to ask my mother, I was like, can I drink the thing? Because I got to eat this piece of paper that you're putting in my mouth, but I can't wash it down with anything. What kind of shit is that?
You're crazy.
I used to say that to my mother all the time. Not shit. What is this? This makes no sense. Why are you getting able to wash it down with water? And I got to sit in the pew and let this piece of cardboard dissolve on my tongue.
So let me clarify. When I said I never had that before, I didn't have it. It was not like a sip. I wasn't given a sip. At the Episcopal church, they dipped the wafer into the wine and then gave me the wafer. That's the
color. Is it white wine?
It was red.
It was red.
It didn't
wine.
really. I don't remember looking at it. But I just am freaking out because I'm like, holy shit, I never had alcohol before. This doesn't really count. It's just dipped in it. And then like I was freaking out. I was like, did they just dip it? Because I was gonna say no to the wine. And I'm like, holy shit, they just dipped it. Now I have to have it.
Wait, hold on to that cracker real quick, and I just take the wine.
No, I did not want it because I don't like alcohol. But never had it, and I don't want it ever. But
good wine is good.
Which is why I'm interested in that other podcast. I just need to do more research. Anyway, so rewind back to 3rd grade. To me, like Catholicism. Oh my god. To me, I always loved Catholicism. Just it's beautiful. The outfits, the churches, the ritual. Everyone knows what to do and when to do it. I love it. But let me not get ahead of myself now. But like I've been going to a Catholic church again recently because like my friends are there, and I'm just like, this is so devoid of like faith and reverence. People are just all going about the motion, and it just pissed me off. At least at this church that I went to, which I'm going to tomorrow because my friend's singing. It's just like people don't dress up anymore. There's people in pajamas. Like I get now the effort. Like they praise. Oh, at least they went to church. Who cares if they're in pajamas? I was like, I just missed the time when girls veiled and people had their Sunday best. That's gone, at least at this church. Which is why I was looking into Orthodox churches to go to. But that's like so much more stuff to memorize to be able to do, and like so you don't look like a newbie, you know. But I wanted to also go to Latin mass where they have the veils and shit, and like all that stuff. Like, I really want to do that. I
Why?
bought the book and everything for that.
You shouldn't be worried about everybody else dressed in
That is not the point.
But
That's not the point.
but then what is the point?
The point is respect. I know you don't get it because you don't you're all about comfort over dressing nice, but there's a reason why they say clothes make the man, and that's why the reason why
Here's the thing.
armies have uniforms.
You're missing the I think the far point about the problem with churches. Those people that are in pajamas, I don't think they're going there to worship God. They're going there because they're forced.
Their
being
family
dragged.
probably dragged them. Yes,
They're being dragged and they don't want to dress up.
but that's what I'm saying. This is okay. This gets to my point about probably why I'm still into religion after all these years, is because people misinterpret's a bad word, but this is a problem too. Like, it's so, I think religion has been so not only diluted but misinterpreted, forced.
Vilified would be a good.
I don't know about vilified.
People tend to make make it sound like religious people are like zealots. They're like crazy.
That's part of it, but
Yeah.
but I think there's a war on truth, whatever that means, and
No,
it's
I won't show up to a church at all.
oh my god, no. You said one day you might.
I just I mean, I am a good man, and you tell me this all the time.
Yeah.
And I felt like I don't need. I mean, I believe in things. I do. I believe in higher powers and spirituality, but I don't need to go to a building and watch a guy in robes.
Again, I'll get to that.
Okay.
But that's part of the problem. But it's also, hold on. I have a whole conclusion. This is like an essay, and I'll get to that. But anyway, let me finish the backstory, which is that 3rd grade, obviously did First Communion in 3rd grade. Like, I did all the shit that I needed to do, right? Wore the little outfit, all that stuff. Was the oldest kid getting communion. There were like toddlers, everyone was, and I was just like the 3rd grader, and getting that done. So that's the farthest I went. Confirmation was supposed to be 5th to 8th grade, but because my parents are more focused on our academic success, we were like, yo, this is not challenging us at all. My brother and I said, academically, like, it was so easy. I know, we are nerds, but just get that in your head. Nerd definition. My brother and I.
Yeah.
In different ways. He was science, I was like arts and writing.
Bingo.
And
I understand this, but I understand it's a fancy brain. I understand that, but I'm just listen. I have been able to attribute the message that are in those books that they preach without actually having to go there. And I think I practice the things in those books a lot without ever having to go to be told.
But you know why I think that's the case?
I believe faith and everything like that. You don't need, if you have it, have it. You know, if you want to, pursue it further and learn and really go beyond that, then I think that is a good place to start, But as far as I'm concerned, I believe in goodness. And I believe that goodness brings forth more goodness. So if you spread goodness, only goodness will come back to you. If you're vile, if you're scummy, if you try to fuck people over to gain something or to do something, in the end it comes back. And either it backfires or you get fucked over and you get exposed or whatever the case is. But I always believe that you just be good to people. And for one, they'll never have anything bad to say about you because you're good to them. And 2, they'll know that there is at least one good person out there in the world. That's all I ever believed in. And I didn't need a book. I didn't need a guy to feed me a cracker. I didn't need a glass of wine to know that. It was just from reading comic books.
And maybe Bible study class?
And not even. Because even when I would go there, I would drive. My last year of CCD, I used to drive the teacher crazy. Because I would say to her, I can learn all this from reading Batman. I don't need you to tell me about Jesus. I used to say it all the time. I used to drive them crazy. I said, I can decipher the message of being a good person from either a comic book or something else. Like, you're not holding my attention. That's the problem.
But you know what I think the case is, though? Those comic books got it from the Bible, though, and digested it into a story where everyone likes it.
But that's the thing. That's how you caught my attention.
Yeah,
And that's
I know.
all I needed to be good. I just needed to be shown by somebody. And it just wasn't that wasn't my, not to say that it's not for everybody. It's that's not for me. You know, I didn't need religion to understand the message. Some people do. And I totally understand that, and I respect that. And I get it. Sometimes you got to go to church. Something you want to feel that level of camaraderie and the spirituality and the faith. I totally get it. But for me, personally, I have it.
Mhm.
It's in here. I already feel all of that without having to be around.
That's why I call you Saint Anthony.
I don't want to sidetrack you. I just wanted to answer his.
No, yeah. Good point. I'll also get back to that. Yep. That's a whole other. I want to have like a 3-part live stream series where we just dive deep into the Bible. Because it reminds me, in college there was a class on the Bible, but it filled up immediately, and I was never able to take it, and it pissed me off that I couldn't take it. So everyone was saying how great that class was, and that's why it was always full. That's the one sucky thing about college, is that sometimes you can't take the classes that you want, and which sucks because like you're paying for the experience, and you can't do what you want. I don't know. And yes, I actually did read the dictionary. I remember having and what's even nerdier was that I would always be in the library. I was best friends with every single librarian of every single school I was in. But I'm about to get into the library actually, so it's a perfect segue. But that they would give you free bookmarks, and every time I came across a word in a book I didn't know, I would write it on the back of the bookmark, so when I got home I would look it up, and I would cross it off once I learned the word. That's why I like increased my vocabulary as a kid. Like every book I would read and I didn't know a word, I would just write on the back of the bookmark. And I found like old bookmarks just full of words with crossed out. I was like, I know that one, I know that one, I know that one.
Wow.
It's just funny to look back and see like what words I didn't know at that time. And I'm like, oh, I use that word all the time, you know? But I want to this is the overall point of my whole spiel today. This is literally the exact point. Like, it's such a beautiful thing that's been twisted to the point where people don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
And it just like is the saddest thing ever. And like it pisses me off. And that's why I think it should be, I always say after I took a religious studies class in college, I think that should be required from like middle, whenever kids can learn, like understand, either middle or high school. I think it should be a required class. I think it used to. I feel like my dad said it was or whatever. I think he took it when he was younger. Like I think it should be not to force people to believe in something, but to just respect other people's belief. Because like people are like, why does that guy always take off this time? It's like maybe he's Jewish, you know? Well, I mean, Jewish holidays are as respected as like Christian holidays now, where like days are already off for them. But like Muslims, like I worked with a girl who was Muslim or like converting. So she asked for like, I need a place to pray. And they gave her like 15 minutes of her lunch to like pray at like noon and stuff like that. And then like sometimes they say you can't cover your head, but for religious observances you can, like all that stuff. Like I think we should just all take the class so that we could just know more about each other, you know, and like know each other's worldviews.
You can respect people.
Yeah.
You can understand what they practice, what their faith is.
Yeah.
You have a little bit more respect.
Yeah. You just need a Batman.
Yeah, it's the truth, buddy. It's one of those things where my parents, they told me from a very young age.
Oh look, same time brought a friend.
Hey, what's up?
It's about the paranormal, religion, ghosties,
Ghosts, Bigfoot,
cryptids.
Yeah, this is my wife's channel, Crown Fox Productions.
And also, I mean, I've been on a 2-year break from making movies, but movies are coming. So.
Yeah, short films and stuff. Thank you for hanging out.
Yes, thank you.
Please give a like and subscribe if you haven't, Hustle. And I appreciate Same Time Toys bringing you along, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate this. But
I have a whole episode about this.
With the Batman thing, like I said, my parents told me from a very early age to treat people the way you want to be treated. Plain and simple. It didn't matter how you felt. If you want to be treated a certain fucking way, you treat somebody that way. If you don't treat them the way you want to be treated, then they have full range to treat you like a fuckface because you're treating them like one. So that's literally, my father said these words to me. I say that all the time to my wife. Don't be fucking stupid and don't act stupid, and people won't treat you like a moron. This used to say to me when I was a
How do you
kid.
know what's not stupid?
Like,
You watch and you
you
observe.
just watch and observe. He's like, you know, you do the right thing. What do you think the right thing is? He used to say, what do you think Batman would do in that?
He said that?
situation? Yeah. Because you love reading those fucking comic books. What do you think Batman would do in that situation? And then I'd say, well, he would do this. He goes, well, then why didn't you fucking do that? He goes, are you smarter than Batman? And I would go, no. He goes, well, then do the right fucking thing. Don't be stupid. And don't act like a fuck up. And people won't treat you like one. And like I said, I learned that from a very, very young age. So to me, like I used to tell my mother, like, yo, I don't need to go to church and talk to some old man about about what I did wrong. If it's wrong, I know I did it. I fucked up, and I'll admit that I'll admit to the wrongdoing. And I always done that. Like, yeah, I fucked up. I'm sorry, my bad. Or if I got caught cutting school, yeah, you got me. I got fucking you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just one of those things that happens, man. Spider-Man is the real Marvel Jesus. It's just the way it is, man. Comic books, Jedis, it's all connected. It's just how it's gonna connect to you. That's all. I don't know how to religion.
That was one of my favorite classes because I had it at night. Either it was like fall where it was getting dark early, or it was like 7 p.m. I don't remember what exact time, but every time I left the class, it'd always be dark, and it was so awesome because I was like taking poetry classes and religious studies classes at the same time. I actually had a religious studies minor at the time. I was going to graduate with a creative writing major and then a religious studies minor, but I dropped the minor because it was like, oh, this is not what I want. I wanted like deep mysticism, like learning Kabbalah and all that shit, the Bible class. But when I looked at what was available, it was just like Islam, Christianity. I was like, that's it? There's like thousands, and that's all you're offering? Like, it really angered me. And it actually led me to apply to Harvard Divinity School after college as a what's it called? Graduate program.
Yeah,
Obviously, I didn't get it, but that would have been so cool. But I literally applied and everything, like fully, to a Harvard Divinity School, and I was like so excited. I was like, oh my god, this would be amazing. Didn't work, but anyway, my point about the religious studies class being at night, it was so cool because like the lights, like they're not street lights, but like street lamps,
yeah.
to light up the like campus, or like foggy, and I would just be like writing poetry in my head because I just came from like religious studies class, and then like I'm just like on the way back to class and I'm just like writing poems. Like I have a whole tiny book of poems I wrote just during that time, but again, because I'm a nerd.
Yeah, you really are.
But
Well, what led you to the magic stuff? Though?
okay, so
2010. Let's forward to that.
yes, we're in middle school. I remember asking my dad when I was a toddler. He was reading the newspaper, and I was like, I would just sit next to him, and I'm just like mind blown by how he can like understand these squiggles on the page. And I said multiple times. I remember at least 3 times asking him, 2 or 3 times asking him, when am I gonna learn how to read? I was like so adamant that I was like, I need to know what, like, I'm like, you're telling me this is how people like learn? I need to learn that. So I like immediately learned how to read. I don't remember how. I just remember my memory literally skips to asking when am I gonna learn how to read, and then just reading every single book that I could find.
Well, you didn't for some reason you blocked out the learning part.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened,
So you
but I did.
obviously learned how to read.
Yeah. So in elementary school is when we had an awesome library.
Yeah.
And that's when I was always into like paranormal shit because that's how I was watching Little Vampire in kindergarten.
Yeah.
So I loved that shit.
Was this when you were asking for that book, the same
Yes.
book?
This is literally, I'm about to say that right now.
Yeah.
Where I found like literally this big, probably 6 books of paranormal stuff in the elementary school library. And we would like go pick a book, check it out, whatever. And I read every single book in like a couple weeks, maybe a month, and I read every paranormal book. And I go back, I'm like, well, let me just read this one again. I don't know what it was about. Ghost, obviously, but
Yeah.
I go to check it out, and the librarian's like, she puts the book away, brings me to a different section on Captain Underpants. And Magic Treehouse books, and she's like, pick one of these. Like, you already read that book before. Like, pick one of these. I literally just stared at the bookshelves, insulted. I'm like in elementary school, and I'm insulted that she brought me to Captain Underpants. I was also, side note, thing you should know, I was like an asshole nerd
Yeah.
who thought I was better than everyone. So
Yeah.
just that's the ego that I had back then. So,
I'm humbling her ass one day at a time.
Yes.
Trust me when I tell you.
Yes. So
She'll learn.
So I waited there, staring at these books, pissed off that she could even, because I thought it was so smart, right? So I was like, I am smarter than Captain Underpants and Magic Treehouse. So I like looked at it, was insulted, waited until she left, went right back to my spot. She had put the book back on the shelf that I checked out and wanted to check out, put back on the shelf from the same spot. So I was like, did this bitch literally just put my book back on the shelf? Grabbed it, went back to her and put it in front of her, and she's like, fine, and she checks it out. Yeah. Some dumb book about like how he's a superhero who wears his underpants and nothing else, and with a cape, a red cape, and I'm like, what? Like, it was so stupid to me.
I probably would have enjoyed Captain Underpants.
You probably would have loved it. It was probably hysterical, but I'm just like, why would someone want to read about this? But anyway, because at this time, to me, reading was about learning and not enjoyment. Yeah, so I had, like I said, in elementary school, read everything about the paranormal. And there it was, like, looked down upon. Oh, and then, oh my god, book fairs, the Scholastic Book Fair is the greatest thing ever. And I, again, would buy more paranormal books.
We have very different memories of school, let me tell you.
Why do you think I wanted to work in a school? I hate children, but I wanted to work in a school because of the funness of
the
school.
Scholastic Book Fair was when
I would. Was the greatest day.
That was when I would find time to go sleep.
You have issues. Scholastic Book Fair was the best. The smell of new books and the little paper stuff and everything.
My mother
the
would
bright
give
yellow.
My mother would give you have to give you the money to go buy a book.
Yeah.
If I can tell you how many books I bought with that money,
none.
I'd be poor as shit today. I'd have no money. I'd have negative money. I would buy cookies. I'd buy food. I'd buy anything else.
Oh my god.
I don't want a fucking book. Like, I was such a dummy.
You're the opposite in that. Oh my god.
I was a literal meathead. Like, oh my god. If it didn't have like a cool, if it wasn't a comic book or a graphic novel, or if it didn't have a wrestling that had anything to do with pro wrestling, it just was not in the cards. I was not paying attention to it.
For me, if it was animals and ghosts, that's all I wanted at that time. So flash forward to middle school now, and I have a librarian friend that loves paranormal stuff. Updates me about new paranormal books she gets in. Says scary stories to me whenever I check out. It's like, oh my god, I read this book, this is awesome, blah blah. Bestie, right? Not bestie, like to the level where like some kids would eat lunch in the nurse's office. Like, I was not that bestie, but like she would talk. I was like, wow, a librarian who's actually supportive of my paranormal interests, right? Shel Silverstein wasn't like that horror or something. The packs of books are always expensive. Oh yeah, I remember those. Oh, and spy stuff. My brother and I would buy like spy toys.
At my Scholastic Book Fair, they'd have it would be a bake sale too. So they would be selling books and cookies.
So you just went to the cookies.
And I would literally just go, yo, let me get a muffin.
Oh my god.
And I'd go sit while all these fucking nerds are reading books.
Oh, he was okay. Yeah, so the poetry, is that where the sidewalk ends or something like that? And Action Figure Addicts, you do not understand the level of torture it was.
She would go.
For me, hold on. For me to work at an elementary school right now, with the Scholastic Book Fair happening in the gym, and I would just have to pass by, and I couldn't go in because I had to work and make sure this kid didn't die.
She texted me. She's like, the fucking book fair is going on right now, and I can't go. I was laughing so hard. I said, who cares?
Pissed.
So, you know, you can go to Barnes and Noble. You're an adult. You buy a book.
No.
For one.
The Scholastic Book Fair has the bright yellow and it's all happy and it's got fun toys and it's just awesome. That's hysterical.
Buddy, if I could, I would have.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah. So that's where the sidewalk ends, right, Brady? He said, yeah. I remember. I'm thinking about Something Wicked This Way Comes at author. I don't know who wrote that, but I felt like the name was kind of similar. But anyway, so I'm in middle school now. Still reading. I remember it was so good. You know those they made a show about it recently. Yeah, the books are expensive now. Something in the Dark or whatever. You know that the show that they made recently on Netflix or whatever, based on the kids' book with like the disgusting weird art. I had all those.
Oh, I remember those. Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah,
those scary,
those. I loved
like
it.
Scary Tales.
I literally would read those books because we would have like a reading hour at the end of the day. I read that one and another book. I wish I still had it, but I think I got rid of it. It was a black book with a red apple on it, with a bite taken out of it to look like a skull, and it was just like scary, true school stories. And I actually was reading it during the daylight in class, like during our quiet reading hour, and I actually got so scared that I had to like stop reading and like look around to be like, okay, you're in a classroom, you're okay. Like it was awesome. Like I loved when books did that. And then, but yeah, like that was my shit at the time. That one, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I want that hoodie. That is awesome. I did not know they made merch. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Yeah. That one. That's what I had.
I used to see that book all the time. It was at every Scholastic Book Fair.
Yes, I had them.
For real. Everybody was buying it. Like, oh, go tell scary stories. And I'd be like, no. Give me my muffin.
Oh my god. Okay, so based on those, like, again, perfect transition. I came to a point where I came to the realization where I was like, there has to be books. Well, it was a combo. It was like me reading Goosebumps. That was my shit. Goosebumps.
Yeah, see, I remember Goosebumps too.
Yeah.
Goosebumps was a big one,
And those books, like based on true story ghost stories. And I was just like, there has to be a book where the author believes this stuff is real. Because
Okay.
I didn't. It was just like those ghost story books, which no one knew if they were real or not. They didn't say that they were real or not, or like based on true events or whatever. So I was like, something just popped into my head where I was like,
See?
something has to be real.
Birds of a feather.
Oh my god.
Same
Hold
thing.
on, I didn't. There was a point. Okay, I think it was before middle school or elementary school where we were driving, my dad, my brother, and I. Oh, that'd be good. That'd be cool. I want to see it. Yeah. There was a point where my brother, my dad, and I were driving to like a store or something, and my brother said something that pissed me off, but also like clicked something in my mind. I think this was before all this. I don't have it on my notes when it happened, but it happened, and that was like oh my god, don't even get me started about Edgar Allan Poe. Remind me to go star the comment because I need to go back and talk about Edgar Allan Poe. Literally, little Tony.
It was PS 87, by the way. That was good though. PS 87.
That's funny.
Yeah. PS 87 Scholastic Book Fair. Yeah, there was only, they never. I would, and I would ask Jeff. I would say, "You guys got any comic books?" They go, "No." I go, "You got any wrestling books?" They go, "No." I go, "Then you don't have my money." Like I was literally adamant about that, and I would come home. Sometimes I'd even come home and give just the money back to my mother. I'd say, "Here, there was nothing there that I wanted." She goes, "All those books there, they didn't have one thing that you wanted to bring home and read." And I go, "No." And then she go, "Well, what do you want to read?" And I would just tell them comic books and wrestling magazines. And my father, to his credit, he would just tell my mother, he's like, "There's words in those books and he's reading them. Shut up and buy them." That's what he would say. So they would just buy me those magazines and comic books.
There's words in them.
That's how I learned how to, like, but that's how I understand situations too. There's a lot of things people don't understand. Like those comic books taught me about life, about racism, about alcoholism, about all that shit. I learned all that shit through comic books and how to handle it.
Thank you.
So I'm just,
Thanks
I
for
don't know.
coming.
I didn't need all that other stuff. And just when I was in school, even when I was in school, I didn't have any mentors or any of that bullshit because I just didn't think like other kids. It would drive teachers crazy because I would answer like this, and they'd be like, "What?" Like my answers just they weren't like a typical kid of my age at that point. And then it was funny too because the teachers would tell my mother that if I would just like when I paid attention, because I had a photographic memory, I could remember everything. So like if they told me something Monday, and I actually paid attention or because I was interested in it, and we had a test on Friday, I could literally remember word for word what they said Monday. But if you upset me, if you didn't have my attention, if I took the test on Tuesday, I would fail because I wouldn't retain a single word you said. It was just my school career was weird. Like like even at my last senior year, I take senior year twice. Obviously, the first one I didn't even go, but the second time I went, I was so fed up with school that I just I told my mother, "I'm going to show you how easy it is to do this." I remember saying this, and I went back and I made the honor roll. They couldn't believe it because I had zeros the year before. Like my grades were so fucking bad because I was never at school. And the very next year, I was like, I graduated with honors, high honors, just to show them that I could do it if I applied myself. It was just people. I didn't like the teachers. I didn't like the way they were teaching. It wasn't fun for me. I just think that's what I equate to the book fair. When I see the book fair, I just see ugh, boring. So that's why I never had my attention. Sorry. But I'm glad to have you in my life who love books.
Yeah. So I don't know what year it was or how old I was, but my brother said something. He was young. Okay, he's the younger brother. And yeah, he said something where he's like, "God's not real." And I'm just like, first of all, how'd that come out of my brother 2 years younger than me, and I'm still over here thinking he's real, right? This must have been after Catholic school.
But your brother always had like a
That's what I'm saying. He was
Yeah.
always like seen as the older one because
Yeah,
like he
yeah,
was
yeah.
like,
he has a high intellect.
yeah, right? So not to diminish what you were saying, but
No,
I lose my train of thought. a lot.
Your
So
brother,
I
your
was-
brother. I mean,
I'm saying I'm giving credence to what you were saying,
Yeah.
and now I'm continuing. I don't mean to like brush off your stories.
no, not at all, baby girl.
But yeah, so he just said that in the car and it like really pissed me off because I was like, how the hell could you think that? Like we just went through Catholic school and all that stuff. And my dad was like, what? Like, you know, it just was mind blowing. But like I got mad for a second and then I was just like, is he right though?
Mm.
I was like, because I don't know. He was always like, not the smarter, because like I'm smart too, but like the more,
You guys have certain.
I don't know.
You guys excel in certain things.
Yeah. So he was like
Yeah.
like science, math smart.
Yeah.
So I was
yeah.
like, oh, maybe he's right. So I don't know if that was near 2010. I don't know if it was on the way to this next thing I'm about to say. But like, I feel like I was young
Mhm.
when he said that. And again, it was the same thing like with the Santa thing. Like, oh, Santa's not real. And I got angry. And I'm just like who? I was kind of like, who's this? Like, why are you saying that? Who's to say?
Is it upsetting you because you believed in it, or is it upsetting you? Because...
I'm like saying that because it's like, I don't know if it was that or if it's like, where's your evidence? You can't just say that without your evidence when I have experience otherwise. Or I was told otherwise. Now all of a sudden you're saying the opposite. It was just like, why? Like, where's your logic kind of thing is when I say, like, when people say that. But again, because I was young.
Yeah, yeah.
And so anyway, that just like sat with me. Like, I didn't stop me from doing anything different.
Yeah.
Yet. But it was always like in the back of my mind. Right? So then skip forward. I don't know what time that was. So I don't know if it's skip forward or back or whatever. But my current mission was to find books where it treated magic, ghosts, and the paranormal as real. Instead of like just ghost stories. Right?
So you wanted him like as if someone was researching it, not just coming up with.
I wanted to read a book. I was like, there has to be a book out there that believes this is real.
This stuff is real, yeah.
So I'm like, I read so much about it being fake or whatever, or
Yeah.
theories. I'm like, but someone out there's gotta like be the opposite. So we're back in that beautiful store of Borders. Rest in peace. And I was looking. I finally finally found the metaphysical section. It was called.
Okay.
My favorite section of any bookstore. Like the religious section. And my favorite color, for anyone who doesn't know, is burgundy. Burgundy is different than maroon. Maroon has a brown undertone. Burgundy has a purple undertone, so it's a brighter, dark red. So I was just scanning all the books.
When she says that directly at me, by the way.
No, it's anyone who says. Whenever I say burgundy, people are like, "Oh, maroon." I'm like, no.
I do that all the time.
Is that you that does it?
Yeah.
Oh my god, you jerk. I was like, is everyone saying this? I was like, oh, it's just you that says
That's
that.
just me. I do
Oh
it
my
to you
God.
all the time.
Yeah. So I hate the word maroon too. Burgundy sounds so much better. And then anyway, so I'm scanning the bookshelves and I see this beautiful burgundy spine of a book. Red. Oh, you mean red? I see this beautiful. Oh, can you pull it up?
What is
Okay, so I pick up this book,
it? What's the name of the book?
Sanguinomicon.
Hi.
Yeah,
Good luck.
SAN
S-A-N
GUI
G-U-I
NOM.
N-O-M.
Yeah, right there.
This one right here?
Yeah. So I'm looking through it, right?
This one.
Yeah. So, hold on.
I'll
Wait
share
to
this.
pull it up.
Let's get it
So
right.
I just see this, my favorite color. And I'm just like, holy shit. Right? I didn't have a phone at this time. If I did, it was like a shitty flip phone. I don't think I had a phone though at this time. And then, so my dad just brought us here just to window shop, right? So we couldn't buy it now. But I was like, I photographed this book in my mind. Right? I was really into spelling bees and words. If you
You're a
couldn't
nerd.
tell.
You were a nerd.
So I somehow memorized that word, Sanguinomicon. And so when we went back to Borders, I couldn't find it. So the girl, I went to the girl, was like, can you order this book for me? Or have it delivered to the house from the bookstore?
Yeah.
And she's like, spell it. And I somehow was able to spell it perfectly. I was just like, SAN, blah, blah, blah. And so it came one day, I assume early November of 2010. Or maybe late November.
We'll just say it was November 30th, 2010.
No, because that's a specific time.
Oh.
That's not when I got the book.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, so you can show the image now.
Now?
Look how gorgeous that cover is. Okay, I saw that book, and I was like, "Holy shit, what is this? I need this." So again, like I said, I was always into vampires apparently since kindergarten.
Thank you, Frankie. I appreciate it.
Thank you. So vampires and my favorite color, I'm like, yes. Yeah, it's awesome. But authors not. We'll get into that. So when I was just skimming through it, I was like, holy shit, finally a book where someone is treating this stuff like it's legit. It's not based on fake stuff, you know what I mean? Wait, scroll down of the book if you can. To see what else it says.
That's really
go back to the cover.
Oh, that's it? It just says the
cover.
lexicon of a living vampire.
Is that what it says underneath?
It just says Father Sebastian.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so you can close it now.
I just wanted to, yeah, okay.
But if you wanted to leave it open, I don't know. So
You got it, mate.
this is my first magic book, and it's like my favorite show, Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, where they have he makes the point of books, the difference between books of magic and books about magic.
Okay.
You know, I had only read books about magic, not books of magic, not teaching you how to do it, you know?
Mhm.
Yes, I have been called that, Francie. But that's kind of an insult. Not really. Or maybe it was just used in my
I guess
context.
you watched the show too, babe.
It's my favorite show ever. Oh my god. Yeah, when that girl was being killed, right, on the stage. This is what I was talking about. But
Bruja.
but anyway, so I read the book, right? And in the beginning of the book, it says this book is dedicated to blank, and on is I'll get into the vampire. Yeah. Dedicated to on this day. So I wrote November 30th, 2010.
Okay.
So I guess I read the book in 3 days. I feel like, because I kind of remember getting it on 27th and then like reading it.
By the 30th.
Yeah. So I read it all, and then I was like, okay, I want to do this, and that's why I wrote November 30th, 2010.
You basically
It's
officially
not a
make it-
role-playing game, not this one. Vampire, but the Living Vampire by Fallout Sebastian is not the role-playing game Vampire the Masquerade, which is different.
What I'm saying is on. They'll probably hear you, but they won't hear me.
Can you hear me now? I don't know.
Yeah, for some reason this box is not working.
They don't want to hear us.
Yeah, something happened on my end.
So can everyone hear? Now I'm muted myself. I can't hear myself.
No, because I shut the audio off. But your mic is on.
Yeah, my mic is on
So
here.
I should be able to hear.
Okay, so Jam can anyone hear me? It's echoing. Can hear us with an echo.
Hello?
You can hear the music.
Can you hear us now?
Maybe I'll
Please,
just-
you can hear us now because I can hear it. So you guys tell me if you can hear it. Can you hear us? Father, can you hear me? Oh, yeah, I can hear
Same,
us.
yes. Okay. Interesting. Maybe vampires are watching and maybe they mess with our stream.
What the fuck is going on?
The paranormal thing yesterday and now
Yeah,
today.
you want to talk paranormal? Let's talk paranormal, guys. On Thanksgiving, after I did my stream, we were in the room for a while. It was me, Mikey, Jeff, Zakane, and I think who else was it? Woody, right? It was Woody, and we were just talking. And my wife went to go leave, and I have a latch on the other side of the door to lock when we leave the house, and that was latched.
We were locked in.
No one came downstairs. So no one touched the door.
No.
It was flush against the door. You have to push it and push it over the latch. So
It's like hard to
something-
do when you're on the other side of the door,
Yes.
let alone from back here. Like it's, and even if it, like something caught onto it, it's not gonna fully lock like it did.
Yeah, it
It was
was
crazy.
it
Like
was fucking
legitimately
weird.
locked because I kept pulling on that shit to see like, is this actually locked? And that shit, I would have broke the door before I I don't know. It was crazy. So
Oh, say, I wonder what you meant when you left. Yeah. Dude,
Oh, yeah.
It was crazy. I can't take it easy, but
good night. But
yeah, dude, it was like I heard her trying to leave, and I turned back and I look at her. She's like, the door's not opening, and I had to call my nephew upstairs to come down. I heard him pull the latch off the door, so somebody like jammed the thing on it. And like I said, it wasn't anybody because nobody came downstairs. So it was fucking weird.
yeah, so now and then as I started talking about vampires, it I don't know.
The audio
So-
completely glitched.
That was weird.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. I did try to ask vampires to interview them, and they said no. So maybe they don't like being talked about. But
Yeah.
I'll skip. I'm not gonna reveal secrets. But so basically, the vampire subculture I learned 2 more hours in that. We had to fight off ghosts. Okay.
That's awesome.
But so vampire subculture. I learned that there's a whole vampire subculture that was created in the late 90s in New York City.
Okay.
And like you said, a wrestler was probably part of it. One of my actors
yeah,
in my
my,
movie was part of it.
One of my buddies, he trained with me. His name was Chris Reyes, and he would wear the Seinfeld puffy shirts. We used to fuck with him all the time. Be like, I don't want to be a pirate. But he would come in with, and this used to make me legitimately laugh out loud at him. He would have like velvet corduroy pants that were like tight, you know, with big black boots, and he'd have those puffy shirts, and he'd come walking in.
Thank you. Please do. Good night.
Take it easy, buddy. He'd come walking in, and I'd be like, "What the fuck are you wearing?" And he'd be like, "I gotta hang out with my coven."
He said that?
He did.
Had to hang out with my coven. Was this near New York City?
Yeah, it was in New York City.
Definitely part of it. Did he say anything of the name?
What?
Like of the name of his coven?
Oh, we didn't get that far.
Okay.
Like we would just start.
Early 2000s?
We would just start insulting.
Early 2000s?
Yeah.
Okay.
2000, around 2008, 2009.
Okay, they're still around. But so anyway, I'm just gonna go briefly summarize what the vampire subculture was. They're like goths, but they're spiritual goths that they believe. There's different clans believe different things. Like the Keprians believe that they were of House Kepris, believe that they were vampires in a former life, and they have a damaged aura that requires of them to feed off life force. And it's something about past lives and being connected to other vampires. That's House Kepris. The living vampire, the Strigoi V. I always said Vi, but I heard recently people saying V. They believe, again, Father Sebastian, I think, not stole, or maybe he did, from every other coven, the like certain aspects of them. But like his was more like positive, but not. That's what I believed at the time. Now I know they're just like weird party kids. I mean, there's probably an inner circle who was more spiritual and doesn't associate with the public. But hold on. So then there's Temple of the Vampire. I like them. I have a lot of audio files of theirs. But they're all about like financial stability and like health, so that they want to live forever, like live as long as possible or forever. So they talk about, again, this is all like mind blowing to me when I'm 15 in 2010. It's like I was obsessed with like being healthy, because the point was to like live as long as possible with enough resources, and it's all like it was like a mixture of prepping. It was a mixture of like just physical health nerd, like nut, like gym nuts type stuff.
Yeah, gym rat.
Where you eat healthy shit or whatever.
Yeah.
And like spiritual stuff. So it was about feeding off people, but living vampires were they were okay. So wait, the Kepris believed that they needed to survive because they had a leaky aura. That was the term, leaky aura. Then I'm like I don't have like specific notes about the different clans. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head the different clans, but like others, like they were called energy vampires, but they would just be assholes who were trying to feed off you getting annoyed. Those are different. Sometimes they're called vampires, but I think they're just assholes, you know?
Yeah.
Energy vampires, I think they're called. Then there was like ones who fed off like sexual energy. Then there's ones sanguinarians are the ones who actually drink blood, because they think there's like energy in blood that they need. But the living vampires, the book I had, they didn't want to associate with those, even though I found out later that he was one. So it's all like hypocritical, you know?
It's all bullshit.
Yeah. I learned like not recently, but maybe recently to now, it was all bullshit, and that like he's maybe not the best person in the world. I've heard some shit about him, like pretty bad shit. But we're in 2010 in my mind now. So the Strigoi Vi or V were all about living life to the fullest. I did not know at the time that basically meant being libertine, kind of like partying, you know, like, oh, I need to feel the vibes of like this concert or this nightclub or whatever.
Yeah.
I just like I wasn't into that shit. So I was just like, oh, this is cool. Like it's life affirming. That's the term that I was very obsessed about, was life affirming. And that's why I didn't like Christianity anymore at this time, because I thought they called it deathist. People were focused on death. So at the time I believed, which is what I guess I was told through reading the book, that Christianity is a deathist religion and that they focus on death. Or it's like do good so that when you die, good happens. It's like, so the living vampires are about like, how about getting good now? Focus on life now. But like now that I think about it, it was so focused on life that they did not really focus on. They were focused on the afterlife, but not like about being good. It has nothing about being good.
No, it was just about.
It was about how you are. It was very
yeah,
selfish. It was
yeah.
like, let me look cool, let me be badass, let me manipulate people. But like it wasn't said in a good way. No, it wasn't said in a bad way in the book.
You mean like maybe I wasn't spreading?
It wasn't said like it didn't say manipulate people. It was says like influence. It was like become friend. Like you could befriend anyone or whatever. It wasn't about fear. It was about like be the life of the party, be cool, like be the vampire in the movies everyone wants to F or whatever, you know? Yeah. I think I should have another stream where I get the book again, because I don't have any more. Again, I'll get to that.
So was it about
where I analyze it now from
trying to build confidence in people?
Yes, that was a big part of it. It talked about different aspects. Again, I think I need a whole stream dedicated to the book, because it's
sounds like it.
Teaching you about the vampire subculture, which
there
is
you go.
Different. It's not all about, but it's a very big part of it, and this is why a lot of people, including myself, didn't want anything to do with it. That's funny. It's basically what it was now that I think about it, like reading it. It was very like, let me dress fancy, let me go to parties, let me be the one everyone wants.
It sounds to me like it was more about a social status.
That was half of the book. And then the other half is where I was really into, which was about practicing magic. Or it's just where I got my start in ritual and ritual and having a belief system other than Catholicism. Because this is the first time I am introduced to practicing like literally a guidebook on a new religion. Okay. Kind of. So it's like, it taught you how to feed energy. So I would do that. You would have to like do this weird breath where you're like inhaling, but you're not inhaling air, but your body's doing the motion of inhaling, but you're not getting as much air as you feel like you're getting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're supposed to be sucking like the energy off people. So, the vampires in Twilight are the dumbest, and they hate Twilight. Like they hate that Twilight.
Like the vampires in there were like mad fae. You know?
Yeah.
They were mad soft.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and also like, and there was a big thing about fangs. I wanted fangs so bad. And the ones I wanted were $300. They were called sabers because they were 4 pairs. So it was the sun and the
I go next to it.
Yeah, so it'd be 4 pair.
Why'd you like the double shot?
The photo that he had on his website was just the coolest one. I just didn't like how small just the little feminine ones were, and I didn't like how long the other ones. Yes and no.
Yeah, man.
Because it wasn't a cult that I wanted. It wasn't like the group I wanted. It's just the knowledge of a spiritual practice, which I didn't get before. If that makes sense. It's like, oh, finally, like my theory is correct, and that people are like, you can practice magic instead of just like hear about it, like I did in the other books. But anyway, fangs, blah blah blah, because the guy was a fang smith, or is he?
I love
fangs.
I love the name. He's a fangs.
Well, it's called the family dentist. Anyone who is any vampire person who makes fangs, they're called family dentists. Oh my gosh, yes. But for those who know,
yeah,
no.
If you know, you know.
Yeah. So anyway, so I would do all these things, but what I eventually grew away from this because it didn't add up to me. Where it was like, it was basically Christianity, because what I learned later was that he loved Christianity, or he loves Christianity, the author, Sebastian. Yeah, Fangsmith is what they were called. I like family dentist because I just think that's funnier. It's like all the lingo and code of vampire
It's just
subculture.
every group has their
Lingo.
like
Yeah.
wrestling, everything. Everybody has it.
But so, what didn't add up to me was this concept of Elarath, which was the group entity, kind of like their god, but not really their god. It was just like the overarching energy of the coven, and then the undead are okay. So the goal was, it argued that the book argued that your soul would just reincarnate when you die because it's not strong enough. So you had to feed off energy to fortify your soul so that it would be strong enough so that you could become like an intelligent ghost. Because it said if any, that's why people aren't ghosts, is because their soul is so weak that it just shatters into a million pieces and they reincarnate without any knowledge of who they were. The point of living forever was they didn't argue that you could physically live forever, even though they tried by being healthy, exercising, eating right, doing if they die, they do that frozen stuff. What's it called? Cryogenics. They would do all that stuff. But like the point was mainly focusing on your soul. So it's not that you were saved, it was that you had to save yourself from the second death, they said. So the first death is the death of your body, and the second death would be the death of your soul or spirit. So you had to fortify your soul or spirit by feeding it energy. Yeah. And so what I was like, okay, but what I didn't like was this concept of the undead, which were vampires who came before you who mastered the second death and are seeing how good you are at collecting energy, and when you gave it to them in a ritual called communion, again, it's basically just Gothic Christianity, where you would offer them all the energy you collected, and they would, if it was worthy enough, would give you Sorera, it was called, which was special energy that you would
I just love how
that would help you fortify you. But you would have to do this every week or every couple days until you die.
I just love how people come up with words.
It was like based on Latin or Sanskrit or some shit. There was a definition. There was a dictionary in the back that like.
All right, so if you get enough souls, now you get enough Sahara.
Sorera.
You could come to us with your sriracha, and we'll give you, everlasting life.
I think it was called transfer, something like that. Yeah.
Transference.
And that word sounds familiar. So anyway, I was like, okay. So I would do it, and I was like, so I would do it. So I just explained the weirdest like culty shit, and I was like, so I would do it. And then so I was like, it was interesting because I felt shit. Like I would feed off people, you would get like this euphoric rush of like just a feeling. It was like, oh, I was like, okay, it worked. Or you would feel a breeze when there's not supposed to be a breeze.
Okay.
I didn't realize it was a scam until later, but yes and no. So
yeah, it sounds like a scam.
every religion sounds like a scam when you whittle it down like that, kind of.
Yeah.
So but also they argued, which is kind of hypocritical now that I think about it, but I don't know, you let me know, where he would say, in case that didn't work, you could still live forever by becoming like legendary, like helping the community, like being known, like people talk about you when you die. I haven't read that, but I've heard about it my entire life, and I just haven't picked it up because I saw it was like a big book, and I'm like, oh, that's too big. I just never picked it up,
Well, maybe
but I have seen it.
Get the recommendation here. Maybe you might not have to. You might have to pick it up.
I've heard that book so many times, and I'm just like, maybe one day. So yeah, they gave you two ways to live forever, which was just with legacy or with spiritual, and then the physical of like cryogenics. I think they say they don't show up in mirrors because mirrors used to be backed with silver, and they were allergic to silver.
Really?
That's what I heard.
I like this one.
But they're already in the spirit world and can only alter that way you see them. Yeah.
It's honestly the first.
Really?
So
I have to look at it.
might have to take a look at that there.
Yeah. So anyway, I was mind blown by this book, Vampire, The Sanguine Avocado. Like mind blown, because I was like, again, I was 15, and
you're right at that ripe age.
Exactly.
I get it.
So then everything vampire, every movie, every book, obsessed. Yes, I was unfortunately one of those Twilight nerds. that was just because it was happening at the same time I was into vampires. So I was like, okay, I was getting some success from the book, but what?
I just remember telling people that if Wesley Snipes doesn't come at the end of that movie and kill vampires, I'm not in.
Oh my god. I did like Blade. Blade was one of my favorites.
It's a great fucking movie.
I was also very obsessed with fangs and like having my canines be pointy, which they never were. But anyway, so made me lose my train of thought.
Sorry.
Obsessed with vampires.
You're obsessed with vampires and Twilight. That's what you were.
Oh, so okay. So what I mainly appreciated about the book was that it taught me the basics. Again, like how you said, where you don't need like God, the Bible, or religion because comic books taught you. This was the same way, in that this book taught me the basics of magic without it being boring. Because it used the lens of vampires, which I was currently interested in. Like how he needed Batman to learn the same concepts. I needed vampires to learn the same concepts. So I learned about opening and closing rituals, like circles, mirror gazing, like energy work from this. Like, because it was said in a way that I was interested in with the vampires and stuff. So yeah, then from there, it was just, again, because he mentioned other authors, he mentioned other practices. In the back, he had like, what's it called? For further reading, suggested reading. Bibliography is different. That's where he got his information. But I think it was like a suggested reading. I used both, the bibliography and the suggested reading section, to just read everything I could, fiction, nonfiction, because he gave you a list of stuff to like read this, watch this. No, it was like Eyes Wide Shut was on the list. Yeah, and I saw that in college. It was like, this is what he wanted us to read. Again, because that was the I think so.
It was Ridley Scott and Tom Cruise.
Yeah. But that was what vampire parties were like. The Eyes Wide Shut movie.
Yeah.
Like, you could say Diddy parties and I wouldn't doubt it. But it was like, that's what pissed me off when I got older. It's like, oh, you're not as cool as I thought. You're just a bunch of party-loving goths who want to claim that they're higher than thou because they can, like, they know some spiritual shit. But it's like, don't even get me started about, like, people who are, like, brag about being spiritual because they're the furthest thing from it.
Well, maybe they brag about it because they need to convince themselves.
Yeah. So Roki was like, at what point did you start sending him money? Nothing besides just buying his books.
Yeah, she didn't buy in like that.
I never had $400 at the same time that he was in the city to get fangs.
Thank God.
I was never like, first, I was again, another thing besides knowing that I was an asshole elitist rebel is that, nerd, is that I was a rebel. So I wanted to like be part of it, but not part of it. You know? So I was never like, I was never like, oh my God, please let me join.
You know, all due respect, you've spoken like a true elitist.
Exactly.
You're like,
I was like, I don't need you guys.
I don't need you guys. I don't want to be a part of your thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So I would just look into like I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. It could be.
You really are like Wolverine.
How?
Like he hung out with the X-Men, but the whole time he's like, I don't want to be an X-Man.
Pretty much.
But he was really happy to be an X-Man.
he was really happy to be.
You know, but he was acting like, you know, he was too cool for school.
Yeah.
But he knew, he was like, thank God I have this team because where the fuck else am I gonna stay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I looked at other ones. I don't know why. I can't think of any others. I don't doubt that maybe some vampires could be watching and I'm putting some shit on my mind. But you liked gatherings but hated people. Yes. Yes. And that's a good, hold on, let me start that and get back to that. Because that's, again, what was a big part of my stumbling blocks of my spiritual path, and I think a lot of other people's spiritual path, is that, okay, I don't know, if maybe it's just me. Let me just speak for myself. Where it's like why do you make me so big? Where it's like, you don't want to be either, I know it sounds like an asshole thing to say, but you don't want to be associated with those people, or that's not what I mean. But it's like, you don't want to be seen as that kind of person. That's why I kind of avoided groups or tight labels. It's because like Wicca, you just think like those like not nerdy, just like those sad white liberal women, you know? It's like witches and Wiccans back then. It was just kind of like a sad thing to call yourself. So I just like hated that. Hated being called that, hated being associated with Wicca. So which is why I've always been like this. Going back and leaving with Wicca, because I was just like, And then when I realized that the vampires were just a bunch of like goth elitist like party goers, I was just like, okay, then I don't want to do that either. You know, it was always, that's why it's 14 years. Is because, babe, why am I so loud in this headset? Did you? No, you didn't. You're making it louder. Okay, yes. But that's why it's 14 years, and I can't give you a label of what I identify as now. Believe I, like, spiritually believe now. Because I don't know. But, yeah. So, I kind of left the vampire stuff. Came back, like, a couple times. Studied other ones like Temple of the Vampire. They were pretty cool. But they were just like, they were the culty sounding ones. They were the ones you wanted, that wanted money. And I did spend a lot of money buying their audio files. But, like $25 if you're a member, $50 if you're not a member. And I got smart and realized, oh, I could just hit not a member and get it for half off. There was nothing, it was like cool. I liked it though, because it was teaching you like psychology, you know, because it's like, are you gonna follow the rules, and because you're not a member you're gonna hit the $50 one, which obviously I did fall for until I realized, oh, you could just, there's no difference between hitting the member for 25, you know. So while it was an asshole move, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, who's cool and who's like an asshole enough to try I'm a member for the discount, you know. Now, I've never studied Scientology that much. Babe, can you lower myself? I don't want to hear myself this loud. I don't like my voice. But now I can hear myself at all. Okay, right there. But, so I got away from vampires because I'm just like, okay, it's enough. Then I studied, like I said, Wicca. Kept going back to that. Kept studying different aspects. That's just like a good basic thing to study. Is pretty much the same thing. Every, like Samuel Edwards said, 10% of your income. Yeah. So then from like here on, from 2010 on, from the book, from the Sanguinomicon on, I just collected every single magic book that I could find. I think I had 2 other magic books prior to the Sanguinomicon, but I would never read them until like after getting into it. I think. I don't know. Again, I got rid of all of them, but I'll get into why. Yeah, so I studied Satanism when I was 18. I made my 18th birthday a satanic baptism ritual, which is pretty cool. But Satanism, again, I studied Satanism because people are scared of it, which is like what I said my MO was in what was it? Kindergarten?
Kid, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, why are people scared of Satanism? I was like, let me look into that. It was like a library, like, okay, it wasn't that awesome, but it was like, I was trying to be Mr. Norrell with his library of magic books. Rokeeper. South Park explanation. I don't like South Park, but I guess I'll watch.
The explanation of Scientology is spot on. Like, they nail it. He's not wrong. Yeah.
I'm just doubting that, how you said that.
Was it a gathering of magic books?
You mean a coven of magic books? Just kidding. Again, like I said, it was enough to fill a trunk to the brim. Like an actual size trunk. Like one of those black trunks. So... Okay, back to the Satanism. So I was studying Satanism. Again, I don't know what... Okay, no. Was it Luciferianism first? I remember. Okay, let me go in order of what I remember. First thing I learned was... Okay, I don't know if anyone knows magic or anything here. Knows witchcraft or whatever. But E.A. Coetting. That's psycho. Because it's funny because I can, like, know something's BS, but also listen to it long enough to try to find if there's any truth in it. Again, I think it's because I'm like not a rebel, but not an asshole, but more like I would just listen to everyone, even people that don't seem legit, to be like, do they have any point? You know, I would listen and read everything. If someone said that an author was stupid, I'd be like, okay, let me read it and see why. Like, is it just your opinion or is that fact? Like, if someone seemed like a scam, like EA co-editing is or seemed to be, I don't even know what he's doing now, but like he would just sell books for hundreds of dollars, saying this is the best thing ever. There's only 100 books left. Like get like those preachers on TV, but like for dark magic on YouTube. It was so funny. Like it was hysterical to watch how ridiculous he was. But like I still learned from him. Like he had a video of the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, which is one of my favorite rituals to this day. Which is like the best. Again, also at this time, I was watching every single paranormal show at the time, which was not that much back then. It was Paranormal State, which is where I saw the LBRP being performed by the girl Elfie, because her dad was into Thelema or some shit like that, or she like was somehow connected to Aleister Crowley. Sure, I don't know if that's true or not, but I saw her doing it. And I was like, oh shit, is that what that is? Like, let me learn that, because she was like, this is the most powerful banishing ritual I know, and everything I read said, oh, I need to learn that. So EA Coetic, of all people, had the best video on step-by-step how to learn it. And, like, where you, like, do the hand motions, all that shit. Like, what was it, Hebrew? I think it was Hebrew. That you had to say. Which direction to face. How to draw the banishing pentagram. Again, I could have members-only videos where I actually explain stuff in case anyone's interested. I don't think anyone actually cares about learning like I do. They'd much rather just hear me talk about it, but I don't know. I've always wanted to like teach magic, but then church is fun, but it's just bad now. I mean, certain church is probably good, but I'll get into that. Star that I need to remember. But anyway, so I learned the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. Was so proud of myself for like feeling like such a like wizard nerd, where I knew like I memorized the full thing with like a different language, you know, because it's like when you see the stereotypical wizards of like them speaking some weird language, and I could do that like for that. And I mean, still haven't like mastered it, because you're supposed to visualize like very strong things while doing and saying it, so it's a lot. But then at the time was studying Luciferianism too, Michael W. Ford. Again, another like weird authors. But very into that. Could never get into it because like I said before, I'm a nerd with words, spelling bees. The amount of typos in Michael W. Ford's books was painful, like physically painful for me to read, and I never could get past it. His Dragon of the Twin Flames book that he kept raving about in every single video, could never get myself to read past the page because of the amount of typos. I don't know what was going on, but it was bad. And EA Coeting's books I could never afford, so I just watched his funny ass videos. I don't know if he's being a parody, but I don't think so, because I think at the time that shit was cool enough for people to look like psychos enough to do it, you know? He looks like, let me give you an example. A redneck version of Chris Angel. That's what EA Coeting looked like back then. And Michael W. Ford was just like black-haired nerd in a dress shirt with a red tie all the time. But again, I'm just gonna glance over these things I studied: Luciferianism, Satanism. Daemonolatry is different from demonology, because daemonolatry, the word or the suffix latry means to worship. So demonolatry was the worship of demons, but in this case, it wasn't. They weren't thought of as like the Christian demons. They were daemons, D-A-E. So they were like just god, like old gods, which when taken over by Christianity, they were believed to be demons. But they were still, so demonology was the study of like them as gods, you know? And then so like goetic magic was a big part of demonology. And even EA Coeting, he would talk about the goetic demons all the time, and Michael W. Ford too. Satanism is just atheism. It's just goth atheism, which I learned pretty quickly. And I was just like, this is not for me, because I love the belief aspect. I love the pomp and circumstance aspect, and Satanism has none of that. It does not encourage you to improve yourself at all, which would disgusted me the most, honestly. It's like, you are as you are. I'm sinful. I'm this. I'm that. But the sins prevent you from being a full libertine. But it's just still just like, ugh, you know, the type of people that say that the Satanists are just like, I'm not saying those are bad, because there's Satanists out there that are very elegant, very hardworking, like very good. And those people are usually magical practitioners and Satanists, you know, because there's like the goth rebel atheists who are like, I'm a Satanist for shock value. I've known both. I've known the badass ones, and I've known the gross ones. Like in college, they were just like, oh, we're the Satanists. I'm like, sure, you know, but I'm not dissing any aspect or any path. I'm just saying that, like, there's a lot to all of it, you know? Like,
yeah.
The demonology is so cool. Like, I could do whole live streams just on each of them because of how awesome they all are, including Satanism, including Luciferianism, demonology, even Ego Wedding has cool shit to say. Like, I don't know if you guys are interested in all that. That's why I'm just skimming, because this is just about the anniversary. But like, I love all this stuff still, but I just don't identify as it anymore, because not that I can see past it. I mean, also, I've always struggled with being called a dabbler. I don't think I am a dabbler though, because I become that when I study it. So like when let's say I'm reading the Bible right now, I call myself a Christian in my mind. When I was Wiccan, I say to people I'm Wiccan. Like, you know, I'm like, I become that. I'm not just saying I'm studying this, because I'm like, you can't fully study it if you just say you're studying it. Like, you need to be in it. But again, that reminds me of like, I don't have it notes here, but some people would still call me a chaos magician, and chaos magician is, I think it was popularized or made by Peter J. Carroll and Phil Hine, I think. But chaos magic has nothing to do with chaos in the sense of like complete anarchy or whatever. It means that you use belief as a tool. So, like it said, like you think that everything has power if you believe in it, is basically what chaos magic says. And it had to do with paradigm shifting. So let's say, like I just said, like if you want to pray to God, you're gonna become a Christian. Everything that you think, do, say, whatever, Christian, so that you can pray properly, you know? But then you want to, like, I don't know, say you want to curse an enemy. You could, I don't know, now I'm a Satanist. And you just get in that mindset. That's basically what chaos magic kind of is. Don't anyone come after me for saying, like, oh, that's not just what chaos magic is. Because, like, chaos magic does have its own stuff, in that it has it's got sigils, and that it teaches you how to make sigils, which is like, you take a sentence of something you want to have happen, take out the vowels, take out the repeat consonants, and you just have the letters that remain, and then you turn that into a cool picture. But you simplify it so much that it's just like, you can do it in one stroke. You could just draw it in one stroke, and then that goes into your subconscious mind. It's like, so when you see that symbol, that the whole meaning is right there for you in a split second. So again, I could have whole videos on how to do all this stuff, but I'll probably do that for my members only. So this is all I was studying non-stop. I would do homework, and then I would just get right into my magic stuff, like deep, intensive study of all of this stuff is all I did. That was like eat, slept, breathed, just magic and spirituality for like, still to this day. No, I have not seen that. That's cool, Sam Edwards, that your uncle was a preacher and yet you're still agnostic. Now, like, it's like a shame that happens, but I get why that happens. John 3:16. Isn't that what?
Austin 3:16 says, I just whipped your ass.
hold on.
Yeah.
This is why I have the Bible next to me, because I wanted to, in case I needed a verse.
She's got the Bible next to her. I got this other microphone. I wanted to test it. You guys mind?
No.
Just give me a second here.
Where the hell did this page go?
Testing, testing. Does this sound better? I don't know if does this mic sound better? I don't know if it does. But it might be because it's one of these. I don't know. This is an old school mic.
Oh,
right?
Zakanan's here.
Hey, Zakanan.
Hating how YouTube notifications don't work.
How you doing, Zakanan?
John 3:16 says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only son, so that everyone who believes in him may not perish but may have eternal life."
Testing. Can you guys hear me better?
What does Austin 3:16 mean? I'm gonna whip your ass? Is that what he says?
I just whipped your ass.
Yeah.
I found this microphone right here. I just want to see if it still worked. It's very old, as you can see. Looks like.
Did I give it to you? No.
No, this looks like. If you guys remember Kennedy. Kennedy. I'm sorry. I just wanted to test it, baby. While you were reading the Bible.
Yeah.
I'm back on this mic.
I mean, if I got into every topic I just talked about very in depth, it could be like 4 hours, which is kind of why I wanted this to go earlier, because I kind of want to get into all this stuff, but like, I don't know. Let me just go through the backstory, and then we could always like go back or whatever. So, still studying all this stuff very intensely. On 18th birthday, do the satanic baptism. That's cool.
Wow.
I love that. I love movies like that where it's just like one room where nothing happens or something like that, and it's just like all dialogue basically. So anyway, now we're in college.
Agreed.
Where I'm like, okay, I can finally make a magic club. No, it wasn't that. It was that I wanted to find other people, because I basically forced my friends, my like 2 friends, to try and join. It was called Spiritus. I was gonna make a ghost hunting club called Spiritus in middle school, and I only had 2 friends, and I was like, you have to join this club with
God,
me.
you're my little nerd, and I love it.
It's like, you have to join this club with me because no one else is going to. So I had a 10-question test for my friends who had no choice but to join my club, because who else would? And I made the questions so difficult that only I would know. It's like, what town is the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum in? Weston, West Virginia, by the way, is my favorite haunted location of all time. It's literally questions only a nerd who watched Ghost Adventures like me would know.
Yeah.
Like, hardcore, had to watch every show, knew the towns, locations, and everything of it. It was like asshole questions. I think I still have the test, and if I find it, I will literally read it in a live stream, because it's awesome. It's like hilarious, and it's such an asshole move, like these questions. I know. I literally just what I said to Kanan. I think because I kept a lot of like school, again, I'm a nerd. I kept a lot of essays, tests, random notes from high school and college. It's in the back of my closet.
We
like,
are
complete opposites.
We are a tale of the 2 cities.
Yes.
I would literally throw things away as the teacher gave it to me. The teacher would hand it to me and go just like this. The trick.
You're such an ass. I kept a lot of things because I had amazing drawings on the back of tests. Like I would again, nerd, that I would finish the test so quick that I would just have to sit there for like 20 minutes as everyone else finished. So I would have to draw awesomely something on the back, or like a character reacting to a question, or like a little anime girl like smiling or whatever. Because I would finish so quick my test, I had to draw to entertain myself.
Mine looked like you gave a number 2 pencil to
a gorilla,
to a silverback gorilla, and asked him to write, War and Peace. I had such sloppy handwriting; it was terrible.
And I practiced my handwriting and took calligraphy classes every summer so that I would impress the teachers with my handwriting. I'm not even joking. I have notebooks of just me writing my name over and over. Again, my ego and my nerdiness
Something.
are very, very large.
It's something. Listen, guys. I am literally humbling her every single
By the
day.
second.
By the second. The minute she says something, I go, "What?"
Okay.
This is crazy.
So now we're in college, 2014 to 2018. In the thick of my magical practice. Again, 2014 is when I started, so that means 4 years in. I have 4 years worth of. Has it been that long? 14 years? 2010 to 2014 is what, 4 years. So I have 4 years worth of books and notebooks. So,
So in other words, from 2010 to 2014, you were just writing in books.
okay, so I was keeping detailed notes and records, like it said in the Sangonomicon, and in every book, that a magician's first and most important tool was their notebook. Not a book of shadows, because a book of shadows is different, because that's your like tried and true spells of a coven. That's what's in the book of shadows. The book of mirrors, according to Voss Sebastian's book, is what you just journaled. Yes, I am.
She's my grandmother.
Yeah, and
Hey,
so,
mama.
so the book of mirrors is what you would write, like just journal your questions, your experiences, or whatever in. So I had 4 years worth of that. I had like my first ritual, first meditation, first spell, all the results of everything. Like it was detailed. Like it was the joy of my day to just write and write and write and write, and just practice and meditate and just write more notes. Like the coolest shit happened to me in meditation. I came up with a whole elven language, which you can hear in my movie. Shameless plug. What's it called?
Hold on.
Shit, what's the movie called?
I don't
The
know.
one with the unicorn.
I'll
Can
pay-
you look it up? Producer. The first elf movie.
I'll do it because you called me a producer.
I'll do it because you called me a producer. So just find the title of that. But I was like, I got elves and fairies. What am I gonna have them speak?
What is the thumbnail?
A unicorn, I think.
A unicorn.
So anyway, I was okay. From the beginning, I was into fairies and hence gnomes to Canaan. But the gnomes came later. But like fairies and elves were my shit from like, I don't know, a young ass age.
The Unsullied Prince.
No, the one before that's a sequel.
Oh,
It's Unseelie, by the way.
whatever.
Through the Fairy Wild, right there.
The Fairy Wild.
Yep, won best of show. Won $300 from that movie. Yes.
Did you win an award?
Through the Fairy Wild is the name of the movie, where you can hear my channeled elven language. So I had a spirit guide I talked to on the reg. I like meditated.
Me too, Sam. I said I was terrible in high
I
school.
was always a sponge for knowledge.
I was terrible in school. If it had nothing to do with pro wrestling, I did not want to hear your story. I did not care. I had one dream, one goal. And that was to become a professional wrestler. So like nothing else mattered. It wasn't until I was done with school that I wanted to learn. It was like, it makes no sense. Like it's like ass backwards. But like after I left school is when I was like, fuck, they taught that shit now. Now I gotta learn it all over again. But you learn it your own way, I guess, at your own pace. Okay.
Don't even get me started about school, because like while I love school, I also hated school enough to write a whole book on it. But we're not gonna talk about that book.
No.
So where was I? Let's talk about Through the Fairy Wild. So I was having meditations where I would talk to spirit guides, spirit animals. I was convinced that I had past lives, not only as a priest, priests are different than monks, as a monk, and as a soldier in World War I. I had another past life regression meditation I did where I was like a Victorian gentleman who like died on horseback as I was leaving like for work. Like I had all this shit all written down. I was like, I wish I didn't. I have like somewhere on some hard drive, like the beginning of me writing it in the computer. So I probably have some of like the early stuff written somewhere, but not all of it. And like, I mean, I still remember it a lot for the most part on my own, which is why I was like, I could get rid of this. Oh, what's up? My dad's here. But Take the thing out of your mouth.
Now I gotta take it out of my mouth. Why? Because your father's in here.
No, it's just because you have it just there. What was I saying? You distracted me with your little tantrum.
You were in your college years talking about the fairy wild.
Oh, so fairy, yeah.
Yes.
So I have in these notebooks that I had 4 years worth of so far. Like things like channeled languages from like an elven spirit guide. So I use that language in that movie. Like just in the beginning when the fairy girl is talking. Like that, what she's saying is literally from my meditation. And then a really cool thing, like probably one of my favorite things I learned from. Oh, also like I had my main spirit guide was apparently like not a brother, a twin brother. Like I was like a ancient Norwegian kid. It's another past life I thought I had. Yeah, so I would get like weird like things I didn't know that I would learn in meditation. Like it's just little things that were like, oh, this shit might be real, you know? And like for example, that spirit guide that I had, I got the name as EHLHI. So I was like Elgi, something like that. So I was like, what the hell is that? So I tried to look it up, and I think I finally found something that said it was a Norwegian name, Helgi. So that was like his name or whatever. Oh wow. Oh yeah, you have dyslexia.
I noticed that
Or you thought you did.
he's right though. Like it helps with this, and I retain faster. Like I have photographic memory then. Like I said, I knew because once you apply it, it always worked. Like if it retained my attention, then I remembered all of it, and I never forgot it. But like it wasn't until I started smoking that I would retain it, even if I didn't want to. Like I was just starting to learn like that and shit. Like because sometimes you watch shit that's boring. Like you want to learn something, but you realize like the video or the tutorial or whatever it is, it's like boring.
That's why I would 2-speed it.
Yeah, but like when I would smoke weed, I noticed that even when I wasn't really, or I wasn't thinking that I was paying attention, it was still somehow getting in there.
Why did it slow your mind down enough to pay attention?
I think so.
Or calm you enough to be like, oh, let me just
I think
absorb.
so. Yeah, I think so.
Wait, so what was I saying? Oh, so like okay. So the really cool thing I learned, because again, I never stopped being interested in Catholicism and Christianity. So this one meditation I did was to find another spirit guide. I don't know why I had to have 20 different spirit guides, but I like kind of did. But like, okay, so I saw this monk, because there's 7 different like medieval monks, I think, and like, so I did this meditation, and it was like this old man on a hill with a walking stick, wearing a white robe, but the robe looked weird. In my meditation, I don't remember what he said. Again, it was probably written in one of the notebooks. It wasn't important. What was important was the outfit he was wearing in my meditation. Never saw anything like it, and I was very obsessed with how it looked. Again, fashion, aprons, it's a whole thing. Like, clothing is like a big thing for me, like how things look. So I was like, okay, I need to find what kind of monk this was. So I tried to look, because it said there's 7 different medieval monks, right? I don't know if you want to, producer, look up. You don't have to, but you do have to look up one. You could look up 7 different types of monks, but in a second I'll tell you the actual type to look up. 7 types of medieval monks. So I was like looking through all the monks, and I'm like, a lot of them wore brown, a lot of them were black. Like I think brown was the Franciscans were brown. The other ones wore black, but I was like, this one was all white, right? Do you have them? Cistercians was that one? So I was like, okay, I was trying to find what type it was based on what I saw, and I would look up their habits. I looked at Benedictine habits. I think they wear like black or something, but a lot of the Benedictines are like just random people. You could just be Benedictine and not have to wear anything, or just and be part of your everyday life. Cistercians? No, it wasn't them. I know what type. I'm just looking. What the hell is that? I never saw that one before. Pretty much, I don't even know how to say that. A lot of these are different from what I remember. The Franciscans were brown. Dominicans were brown, I think. You can look it up if you want. Carmelites. Yeah, so the one I'm talking about is not on here. But, so I finally found it. You could look this up. The Carthusians. And those, still to this day, are my favorite, monks. Like, and that was what I saw in my meditation. He was a Carthusian, based on the outfit. Carthusians. Yeah, so show one with the full body. No, the outfit. So go to photos. No. Yeah, but you can't see it really. So anyway, I was like, go to images. Google Images. So what kept me like studying this stuff and practicing meditation was that I was learning things I didn't already know in meditation. So like this, I mean, if you find it, did you get it? Oh. Yeah, but get a real person wearing the outfit. Yes, they do. I had them as my wallpaper for a long time on my computer. But anyway, so it's a guy. What did you type? Did you even type it right? But why, how come I'm not seeing the photo? Like the famous photo.
I don't know.
You have Carthusian? C-A-R-T-H? Okay. Yeah, just put that photo up. His arm is blocking the whole point of the outfit, though. Wait, what was that website? Did you hold on? Save that website. That might be the website I've lost. Oh my god, did you just find the website? Okay, hold on. Let me get back to what I'm saying before I just almost lost my shit. Okay, go back to his hips, where behind the hand. You can't. That's not it.
What the fuck do you want from me?
Oh my goodness. I know I'm aggressive. I apologize, addict. But anyway, so the point is that I was learning things I didn't already know through meditations.
Bro, if she had a radio, if she was a radio host right now, like we would be hitting the mute button right now. She'd be yelling at me. I mean, Jesus Christ.
I'll send the photo. Okay, so anyway, in my meditation, he was wearing white, which a lot of the other monks did not wear white. And then it was something about the outfit that was off to me in the meditation. And I found it to be, and he had a walking stick and he was on a hill. The Carthusians would go on monthly, I think, walking trips all together, and they would all have walking sticks. And they all only ever wear white. And their habit is the shape of a cross. So at their hips, they have like the sides of the cross, like the arms, that would hang around. It just looked like cool ass pockets. And I'm like, yo, these are the coolest effing monks ever, in my opinion. Because they always stuck to their guns too. Because like during the medieval, or like the plague, the church told them you have to eat meat. Like they told the monasteries or the monks to change some of their practices because of like disease or whatever. And the Carthusians are like, no, we're vegetarians and we've always been vegetarians. We're not changing that now. So like they always stuck to their shit. Like I just love that, like the integrity of them. Then they also had, I love like vows of silence and shit. Like I just love silence too. So they did, like they're very silent. Like, and what pissed me off is that they don't allow guests or visitors, especially female ones. So I was like, oh, I could do a documentary on them. I was like, no, I can't, because they had a book written about them. They didn't like it, and they had a documentary on them. They didn't like it. So again, so cool, because they just were like on their own thing. And I've always like, again, if it wasn't for finding you, babe, I'd be in some kind of monastery. I don't like the nuns' habits. They're all different. They're not as cool as the guys' outfits. They're not the same. Like the nuns do a lot of stuff for like people. Like they garden, they help, you know, charities. I just wanted that life where I was like, because the Carthusians, they would just study in their room and be brought food, and they would just read. That was like my ideal life idea. Like I was like, how can I get that where I just get fed just to like be able to learn? That was just like my shit. Cause like also, that's kind of why I studied Aleister Crowley, because he was rich enough to have that life, and he, again, privileged psycho that he was like, oh, everyone needs to do this like 90-day ritual where you can't come in contact with anyone, and someone needs to feed you through your door where you can't see them because you can't have any contact with humans for this time because you're talking to your holy guardian angel and all that stuff. It's like, again, not everyone could do that. Only monks and rich people like you can do that. So I mean, Aleister Crowley is a whole other conversation that I don't want to get into right now. But you know what I mean? That was the life I wanted. It was just like a monastical life. So I studied all that, and I think you just found the website that I bookmarked and lost, which is it sold custom habits, and it really looked like you just found it because it said 119 euros for that outfit. And I'm like, yo, did you just find the website I wanted? Because I had no money as a kid while researching on this.
A simple,
But I could sew it now because I'm a seamstress.
you're the best.
You're the best ever in the whole entire world, babe.
Thank you.
But I have to. This looks like the website because it. Well, no, because it says armor, garments, LARP. So it's not the exact same one because the one I found was like literally 4 monks
Don't
and 4
take my
priests.
flowers away.
I'm not taking your flowers. You can have all the flowers you want. I'm just saying, it's basically what I found before. So, my dad said there's no stopping her. Princess chill. I was not that angry. What are you guys talking about?
Right there. That's how I'm gonna call the police.
That's so
That's how I'm
funny.
gonna explain it to them. Actually,
Princess chill. Dad coming in to regulate.
a small, aggressive Hispanic woman with a college student appetite is threatening to kill me because I won't find her stupid Carthusian monk outfit.
Is that what it was? I apologize. I was not reading the chat at that moment, so that's why it says there's no stopping her. I wasn't reading all that stuff. I'm gonna sew it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sew it now that I know how to sew. Why are you laughing?
I just love the way you said that just now. I'm gonna sew that now that I know how to sew. Watch out, world! I'm
Exactly.
sewing.
I'll sew it. But anyway, I'm very passionate. If you couldn't tell about all this,
Yes, you are.
so I apologize for my aggression. Which I didn't know. I know I heard a tone that I was having, so I apologize for that. But anyway, so Aleister Crowley Monks College. Okay, so I tried to make a club. It lasted no more than 3 meetings until I think maybe the friends. You okay? Friends I had. Yeah, of course you weren't reading the chat. You were in a blind rage.
I know she was gonna smack me in the mouth and go, I don't want to do that shit, but you brought that shit on yourself. That's what you're gonna do to me. You're gonna smack me in the mouth and then blame me.
There's always gonna be cosplay Sakanen. Especially now that I can sew. I said that for you.
She'll definitely cosplay if that happens.
Yes. And now I can actually.
And she can make a costume.
Yeah.
Although as someone who sews spandex for wrestling gear,
When am I gonna have spandex?
you're gonna need it for costumes, no? What kind of costume?
I was straight up thinking this outfit.
You're gonna go to DFW in a monk outfit. July or June. 117-degree weather in Texas.
They don't have a hot weather version of their outfits.
You're sweating your ass off.
I don't. That takes a lot for me to sweat. But anyway, you can take this image down. This is okay. Let me find the photo because this is not the photo. Is what I'm trying to say.
You're still aggressive. You're still aggressive.
Found it. Found it.
I think it's that fucking coffee. Well, you can share the screen. Just
I did have coffee, and it wasn't decaf like I asked for. So
Go to present.
hold on, I'm just
Present.
sending it to you because I don't want to do all that.
You go to present. Share screen.
I'm sending it to you. There you go. You can see the side things.
That's it.
Yes. Well, this is not
That's
the
it?
photo I wanted. It's not the
That's it?
photo I had.
I'm gonna show it. Oh, I'm gonna show it. All right, so here it is.
She sounds very awake. This is what
That's it.
they did not do decaf. Do you
Oh,
see that the hanging
she-
parts?
Ed, she's wired. I could feel the vibrations from over here. It's crazy.
Yeah. But again, this is sewing fuel because I'm gonna sew my apron after this. And yes, it is 1 a.m. and I still will sew after this. But anyway, let me not wrap it up because it can't really be wrapped up. But do you see this outfit? Because at the little hanging parts, which is what I saw in my meditation. I was like, what is that stuff at the hip?
So these loops over here you saw?
Yes, that's the arms of the cross.
Okay.
So their outfit looks like a cross. It's the only habit that looks like that.
Okay.
So I was like, how the hell? That's funny. That's funny, JMK. But no. Again, I think this is part of their rooms, their cells, I think it's called, where they would have a section like this. They would have a bed, and like that was it, and like a hole in the door to be brought food. They would be in silence most of the time, and they would only sing like on Sundays, and they would eat in silence because they're very big on silence and stuff like that, and they're all vegetarian too, if they still are like that. But anyway, so like that, like just the obsession with just studying spirituality was like me. You know, I saw myself as a monk. GI gnome. That's actually a genius idea. I do either one. Okay, so let's get to the college club that I made. So I had like a table at the club fair where I had, you could take the image down, where I had a table at the club fair with like some oracle cards just on the deck on the table, just like spread out so whoever passed by could just read their own cards if they wanted. I was interested until you brought up singing. I know. I thought the same thing, Rokeeper. I was like, do I have to sing? I'm like, first of all, the female Carthusians are not as cool. And so I don't want any part of it. That's funny. Oh, GI. I just got that. Exactly, Zakane. See, he knows. Of course, he says he would know because he's a hunter of gnomes. Oh, that's what this episode was gonna be from the very beginning. I realized that.
Yeah, she was very excited about this anniversary episode.
Yeah.
She did get, listen, she does feel bad about the other episodes that she had to push back and cancel,
Yeah.
but it's because she's sidetracked with a
My
new
apron
business, yeah, a new
business.
business venture. So she's kind of busy doing that stuff. So,
But like I said, I'm gonna give all of them. I'm gonna talk about the types of witches because I have the notes all done for that. So I will just get to that at the end. But anyway, so the club, I had a little sign-up sheet. 20 people signed up, but I think that was just because the novelty of that I had cards for you to read at my table. Because then my first meeting was like so full of people, and I did the dumbest thing, of like it was fall, because it was like September or something or October, like start of school year, where I had a cornucopia and a basket of leaves and markers, and so I told everyone, like the room was full. I was like, holy shit, 20 people from my magic club. It was called the Grimoire Gathering, by the way, if anyone wants to know the name of it, which I was really proud of the name. Thank you. I know, me too. Like in a day because of TikTok. It was so awesome.
yeah,
I was like, is this real?
That's awesome.
Like the person commented on my TikTok. I was like, oh, I just bought it. And I was like, okay, like sure. And then I get the email. Like, congrats on your first sale. I was like, oh shit, they were right. But no, it was in a boring ass room. It was not in the Dry Creek bed. It was a boring ass room in the student union building, and 20 people. So I said, because it's close to Maybon, so it's late September, your birthday. I said we're all gonna write on with a marker on a leaf, a dried autumn leaf, like something you want to manifest. Then I had everyone put it in the cornucopia. And then we went outside, like held it, like prayed over it, charged it with our energy, and then we like crumpled it and like released it to the wind. After that, I only had 3 or 4 people come back because I knew that was a bad first meeting. But again, everyone thinks like, oh, this is so cool, like witches and card readings. And it's like when actually it's really boring. Like my friend Amber. Shout out to Amber. We have videos coming out of little collab videos we have. Wow, Decaying, you're messed up. But what was I saying?
Your friend Amber, you got videos coming
Yes.
out.
So her friend was talking to us, and he's like, "Oh, what do you do in these coven meetings?" I was like, "We literally just burn candles and like incense, bro." He's like, "Really?" I was like, "What are you expecting? Like us naked with or robes or dancing around a fire?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "That's only sometimes. Like that's only for holidays."
You're
Well,
like,
most of the
that's
time,
only sometimes.
yeah. It's like, you want that all the time? No. Like, come on.
It's funny.
Yeah. And then, but yeah. So it's like actual magic's boring. Like, you know, the Hollywood romanticizes it a little bit too much. I mean, shit does happen. I could get into a whole.
Hollywood romanticizes everything.
What age? I would say I've always been into it, but I would say around age 15 is when I truly. At least you try to remember you telling me about that. Yeah. So age 15 Zicane was when I like officially started getting into it and practicing it. But I've always been into it since elementary school.
Yeah, it always seemed to like interest you.
Yeah, it was interesting, but like actual practicing age 15. So anyway, the club just dwindled in numbers, and I only had what I could remember to be 4 meetings, and then all of a sudden, I had friends. There were 2 Satanists, so they were like very adamant that they were atheists, but yet they would hang out with like us witch kids, and I'm just like, if you're atheist, like why are you here, basically? And then, you know, because it's like, this is about belief, whether you're Wiccan, whether you're whatever. It's like, I don't know, because they were basically atheists, like they were preaching atheism, but then they would say they're Satanists. It's like, I think it was just shock value. They were weird. Okay, they were weird kids, but anyway, so they had a fencing club, and I joined the fencing club because I'm like, holy shit, fencing is what I wanted to do for so long. I was a weak ass bitch. I still am a weak ass bitch, and I could not like do college and exercise that hard at the same time. So I was like, I physically could not handle it. So I had just said, I can't do fencing. And I guess they got offended by that and stopped going to my group. Then all of a sudden, I'm not saying they cursed or anything, but it seemed like it to me at the time, is that the next day I had a meeting. The ceiling of that meeting room collapsed in on itself. And then the school told me, your club's not legitimate. You can't do meetings anymore. You can't reserve rooms anymore. I was like, how am I not legitimate? I had a table at the club fair. And all of a sudden you're telling me after these kids leave and I can't do their fencing anymore that I am not legitimate anymore? Like, it was weird. So that club was very short-lived. Then I tried to do ghost hunting on campus. It lasted like a day. That's hysterical. That's hysterical. It's like Hayden. But yeah, so the club did not last very long, and I was like, you know what? Whatever. Like, I gave a valiant effort, which is funny too, because like after I graduated, I saw another witch club. Yes, if you have to set up your stuff so we could film more stuff, like the Jenga thing,
Yeah,
like
but
the toys and stuff, Dad.
you know what though? So you're saying that because the fencing was tiring because you had to work get I guess cardio.
Yeah.
Then you
I
know-
had too much social anxiety to like eat enough to like be fit enough to handle all the walking, all the anxiety. Like, I was not well in college.
yeah.
So then to add fencing, my arm hurt for like 2 weeks after because you had to use one arm. And like, I was like, the same arm I have to write essays and type with, and now I can't feel for 2 weeks because I just fenced for 30 minutes. Like, I couldn't, you know? So it's like, I can't do gym and school. I couldn't do it when I had to do it.
God, you are such a nerd.
I know, no muscles. You probably love gym.
I did.
So-
Actually, I didn't because
They had to tell you what to do, right?
no, in high school I was backyard wrestling.
Oh,
And
you
I-
already were doing gym.
Yeah,
On your own.
and I blew my knee out,
Oh, yeah.
and my parents didn't believe that I blew my knee out,
Yeah.
so I couldn't really.
Oh yeah.
I
I
couldn't
remember that.
participate in gym, but I would have. But my knee was fucked up.
I should have put this away. This is Americano, which is basically espresso.
And you're
And-
still fucking drinking it
Yes.
at 1:17 a.m.
Tomorrow's Sunday.
Okay.
So hold on. Yeah, so the club just died. And then I just made my own coven with like 3 other friends. We did Beltane, so we made a maypole and danced around it. We were clothed, by the way. That was cool. In the soccer field at night, we just like shoved a giant stick into the ground and like decorated with ribbons, I think, while dancing to like witchy music. Did we make wands? No. What else did we do? Ghost hunted. Did a Ouija board in a cemetery on a historical street, but then got too scared of people gonna find us, so we just went further down the street to a picnic table. Nothing happened. Just like random shit. Did a Ouija board with another friend, which I think I explained all that in my Ouija board video. Yeah, so then I just studied it all on my own. But anyway, reason why I got rid of all my books and stuff is because, what did I say? A family member didn't like it. Didn't like me practicing all this demonic, satanic stuff. So threatened to get rid of it. So I had to bring it to college, my trunk of stuff. And then that kind of started my tradition of looking through my journals every year on November 30th to see like how far I've come, like how much stuff I would write. I think it's from a book I read when I was younger about like spies or whatever. And it would say I would write State of the Union and like my current yeah take it down now. But I would write in my journal every so often State of the Union, and I would just write my current beliefs or whatever labels I would like think I was. So it'd be like State of the Union, September 3rd, Wiccan. State of the Union, November 2nd, Satanist. Like that's how it was. I would just flip through paths so quickly. I mean, you could say I'm a dabbler, but I don't like to call myself a dabbler because dabblers, I feel like people are just like, oh, I want to curse someone, let me do this, and they know nothing about it, and they just do it to do it, and then like you know, and I'm not an armchair occultist either because I've practiced it all, and I don't have my phone on me, otherwise I would check what Zakanan said, but I have a video here for some reason that I was gonna share the screen. I don't remember what the girl says in it, but this is the timestamp. I sent it to you, babe. Oh, I know, but that's because is he's threatening a gnome. That's messed up. I like how it's in the corner. That's hysterical. That's dark. How much for the gnome? For the gnome's safety? I said dabbler. No, Roll Keeper. It's because in the book I was reading, it was about... I think it was not the Gilmore Girls. Not that show. It was something girls. Gallagher Girls. It was a book series called the Gallagher Girls, where there was like a school where they trained them to be spies. And they would say like State of the Union. So it was supposed to be like a political joke, you know, like a State of the Union. I just like that, so I use that for my own journaling. Okay, not yet. Try to just remember my train of thought. I think that was it. But yeah, I have this video here for some reason. I need to see what that's messed up. How much for the gnome's remains? They're worthless. This part.
I just saw the videos on TikTok. I thought it was relevant to what I was talking about today. I'm not even going to touch on the concept of cultural appropriation and everything that goes into that, because that is a whole conversation in
What's the
itself.
section
It's
called that she's
related-
talking about? The chapter. No, further down. Where the downside? Okay. Let her talk. I don't remember what What the
but
point was,
because
yeah.
cultural appropriation is such a large, complex topic, I'm actually going to link an academic panel down below in the description
Is
box.
she gonna
If you
talk
aren't
about?
familiar with Dr. Angela Puga, she has a fantastic occult esoteric channel,
on.
and she did a panel a while ago on cultural appropriation with other academics and really talking about this from an intelligent perspective. So if you're interested in that topic in particular, I'll link it down below. But spiritual tourism, when we're talking about being a jack of all trades but
Okay,
a
I think this
master of
part.
none, this is really what I'm referring to. DIY spirituality certainly can, not always, but can lack asceticism, discipline, because it encourages freedom. And so it seems that for a lot of people in their eclectic practices, there can be a higher risk for inconsistency, a lack of focus, a lack of follow through, and a lack of depth. This last video that I just showed to
We can
you
pause it now.
really kind of highlights this erosion.
That's basically what my point was that I don't call myself a dabbler with an L, because I practiced, like I knew what I was doing and I knew what everything meant in that paradigm. But I think what she was saying was accurate. Spiritual tourism, where you're like just, like you're so eclectic that it's hindering you, and I feel like that's my problem. That's why it's still like a 14-year journey. I don't know where I stand still. I mean, I like to call myself just a mystic, because that means someone who has a direct connection with the divine in their own way. So I feel like if any title, that probably would be best right now is a mystic.
Well, if I may, can I say
Yes.
something?
Yes.
As someone who has gotten to know you very well over these last few years,
Yes.
I will say that you possess an interesting power that I've never ever seen or witnessed before in my life.
What is that?
You've multiple times now have done those honey jars for jobs,
Yeah.
and they've all worked.
Yeah.
All of them worked every time.
So that's another thing too, is that like my shit works.
Yeah, it does.
So
That's-
it doesn't help me figure out what I am. It kind of makes it harder. Because if it's like, if I can do all this stuff, why don't I identify it as it,
yeah.
Because like I used to identify as just a witch. First I was Wiccan, didn't like Wicca, came back, something else, was like Zakaden has said, draconic witch. I was a draconic witch a couple months ago. I would call myself that a couple months ago. Now I don't. But all my shit like works for the most part. I could have a whole video talking about like the things backfiring. A couple things backfired. I wouldn't say backfire, because it didn't backfire in that it affected me like how it shouldn't. It just has further reaches that I expected it to have.
Yeah.
Like positive and negative. Like banishing spells work scarily well. Yeah. But like my spells work. When I do something, it works. When I pray for something, it works. When I manifest something, it works. When I do jars, like he said, it works.
They do. It's surprising how they were. I mean,
It's like,
it isn't.
but I think that's just because I've studied for so long that I know the inner mechanics of
Yeah.
it. It's because like you could say it's a science, because technically that makes it repeatable, right? Like science, like you have to be able to repeat experiments, and that's what makes it scientific. So like magic is repeatable, because I could do the same spell 10 times and have it work for the majority of the time. Like my dad said,
Yeah.
I'm good at manifesting, like scarily good. That reminds me of some really cool, because in college I just was like learning about that for the first time. And wait.
You're right at this, because like you needed a job. I
Yeah.
remember like over the summer you like realized halfway through August you're like, oh shit, I need a job.
Mhm.
And by the end of August, like within a week, you had manifested the job you have now.
Like even you, I manifested you at the exact time I wanted. I said in the beginning of in the beginning of 2020, I said I told myself I want a boyfriend by Halloween.
Yeah.
And we made it official October 25th of that year.
Yeah.
So it's like, what? And then like,
So you're saying that I'm under a spell?
no,
Oh,
because
no.
when you do love spells, you don't focus on a specific person. I said you just open it up and the best thing falls in. Okay, because I didn't do it specifically on you. Anytime I did do it on a specific person, it would backfire and they would be banished because
Okay.
it wasn't who it was supposed to be, which was you.
Oh, thanks.
So you know what I mean? That's why people say don't do love spells, because it makes people GTFO if they're not the one. You know?
Yeah, I get you.
And like how they say, oh, it influences people and it takes away their free will. You can't do that. It'll just either, if someone's meant to be with you, they'll be with you. But if they're not, they will leave, or they'll ruin. You know,
Yeah.
that's a whole other topic. But what was I saying before that? Oh, so my mind blowing example that manifesting works so well, and that I was like really good at it naturally. By naturally, I mean like without a whole lot of pomp and circumstances, that I could just be like, because I got it. Because in Chaos Magic, it said, set it and forget it. The fact that you can't manifest something, or like the reason why you can't manifest something, is because you keep dwelling on the lack. That's messed up. But no, so the point, even of the secret, it says, act like it's already done. But in Chaos Magic, you're supposed to end your rituals with like BWL, which means banished with laughter, which is what they do in Harry Potter, which is why like Harry Potter, that's why Christians don't like Harry Potter, because they say some real shit in Harry Potter. So like with the, what's that, the thing with the B, where like the guy saying like the boggart in Harry Potter, if anyone watched Harry Potter, where it's like it'll manifest as your biggest fear and you have to laugh it away. It's the only way to banish a boggart, is to laugh at it. That's what the concept BWL comes from, banish with laughter. So basically it says if you can laugh at the end of a ritual or laugh at anything, and it won't have any power over you. So you banish with laughter to completely clear it of your mind. That's why sigils, you're supposed to like get rid of them or forget what they mean. Because it wants your subconscious mind to work. Because once your conscious mind forgets it, then you could be like, okay, now it works, you know? And you're supposed to have complete and total disregard for whether it works or not. Because when you're in that complete state of not caring, that's when it like somehow works. You know? Because if you're like, I need this to happen, this has to happen, blah, blah, blah. It's not going to work. Because you're focusing on it. You have to let go. That's why they always say let go or whatever. That actually probably is the Kanan. That's why witches cackle. Honestly, probably. I didn't even think of that. Grabs notebook. What's the spell? The little green things mean they're members, right? I was gonna do like how to do spells videos for members only. So I mean, I will talk about that in a members only video. But anyway, so the best example of manifestation besides you, babe, is when I was at college and I was coming home from the dining hall. Or was it the dining hall? It was something where I had a lot of shit in my hands and I couldn't open the door, right? So I couldn't open because it was like you have to scan your badge and hold it open, and I had a lot of shit to carry. And I was like, I really wish someone would open the door for me, right? I really wish I didn't have to deal with the door because I had whatever I had. Maybe it was food. I think I was holding food or something. And oh, thank you, Zakanan. Play the thingy. I'll do it. If I can find it. Hold on, Zakanan. Right here.
I hear whistling. Do goblins whistle?
Only when they're calling other goblins.
Yay, we have a new goblin. Oh shit. What? Babe.
I hear whistling. Do goblins whistle?
Only when they're calling other goblins.
Oh, so we got 6 new goblins. Woody's a goblin now.
You're welcome.
Thank you, guys. Yay! Okay, so what was I saying? Oh, so the manifestation. So I didn't want to hold the door open, basically, that's what I was saying. And the dining hall is like all the way over here. You gotta cross a tiny little footbridge, 2 little footbridges, and then cross a little road, then go into a parking lot, and then get to my door for my dorm, right? So it's a lot of walking, and I'm carrying something. I don't remember what it was. I assume if it was food from the dining hall. So anyway, so I was like, oh, I really wish someone would open the door. But then I forgot the thing, because I was already coming up with a plan on how to arrange the shit I'm holding so I could open the door myself. Sup, Kaiju? Right? So I was already trying to figure out how I could open the door myself. So I kind of got rid of the idea that someone was gonna open the door for me, right? So as I'm almost there. Oh wow, nice. As I'm almost there, I see someone else come out from another section, and they like go like this. Here's me, and here's the other person, and then like literally, they cut. You can't see me. They cut in front of me, and they open the door for me, so I don't have to worry about it. So I was just like, how the hell did that happen? Because there was no one outside. There's no one outside. And like I was just like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to put something down, maybe open the door. And like literally out of nowhere, someone just came and opened the door. And another thing, I was listening to a podcast while walking, and they said bowl of fruit. And literally a like 52-foot truck drove by with just a bowl of fruit on it. At the same time, I heard it in my podcast. So I was like, wait, this stuff is like working very scarily well. You know, just like little signs like that. And like how he said, like my spells would work.
Well, the
But
big one is the fact that you just admitted to everybody that you manifested me in a year.
Yeah.
So
I
like,
mean, and I manifested a new job in a week.
yeah.
So,
That's
and
odd.
like, I don't know.
Man, you
No, people get gifted subs
No, what
without
happened-
even having to be there.
Yeah, but basically what happens, as long as you're subscribed to the person, you don't got to be in the room.
Yeah, which is
to get-
crazy because
to get
I've
gifted.
been gifted
Yeah.
subs from 2 different channels I never commented in the live streams for.
Yeah.
And I was just like, how the hell did this happen?
Dude, she got fucking Punk with Toys gifted.
Oh,
son,
yeah.
And she won a Cobra Commander
I
yesterday.
passed it on the couch.
Yeah.
Like, what? It's
Yeah.
crazy. But
fucking ridiculous.
yeah. So what was my point? You said I manifested things.
You manifested me in less than a year.
Yeah.
So if you said you manifested me in January of 2020,
February, because it was
February.
Valentine's Day.
and I showed up in October, by the
I
end,
said I wanted one before Halloween,
yeah,
and it was just 6 days short of it.
yeah. So it manifested just.
And I didn't know that until I read back through my book, and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah,
Because that was the purpose of the notebooks, was to
that's great.
Witch with Toys.
Which is always new channel.
Yeah.
That's good.
I didn't get the toy.
No,
addict.
she didn't get it because she was asleep,
Yeah. I couldn't
Yeah.
like claim it.
and I didn't claim it because I was over there with her on the couch.
Yeah,
so-
we both passed out.
Yeah,
Sucks. Wasn't it the same time that I was texting you? Like,
Yeah, Shane was saying, "Yo, man, you just want to fuck a Cobra Commander."
I was like, damn, we were passed out. But what was my point? Oh, so like, yeah, how my shit just works. I'm good at manifesting, banishing
Yeah.
spell. A girl was bullying me in high school, so I did
that too, yeah.
a poppet, also known as a voodoo doll, of her. Put her name on a piece of paper, put it in the doll, sewed it up with my amateur sewing skills at the time. Threw that shit into the forest in a park. Turned back, didn't look around. Next year, she had gone back to the country she was from because she was an exchange student.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I don't know. And then like, I don't know.
That's funny.
But yeah, so I like, okay, I'm gonna go into the types of witches now because I've basically been every single one of them.
That's funny.
Oh my god. No, we actually were passed on the couch.
We did. No, yeah, we did.
Okay, so look, I got this is what Zakanan wanted to see, right? You wanted to see types of witches. You said
Yeah.
factions of witches. So I'm gonna get into that now because I can still talk about. That's like my so anyway, I got rid of all my notebooks and journals because I was too scared of like them threatening to be taken away. So I was like, I'll just get rid of them. I don't want anyone else to take that from me. I'll do it. And I also got to the point where I was like, I don't need these anymore. Like I already, not to sound like an asshole, but like I already knew them so well because I read them over and over and over. I had outlined, dog-eared, sticky noted every single book. Like, and now I only have a couple books. Like this is like I have 3 big ones because they basically cover everything that the other 50 covered. Like sure, there's some I wish I didn't get rid of, and I'll probably just buy it again if I see them. But like, I don't have any interest to have like that because it's all like the knowledge is up here now. I don't need to have it in book form anymore. You know, like I just have books like these, just like compendiums. Modern Magic. This is a book I found in the library that I was like, yo, this book is awesome. This goes through everything. I really like this one because like I said, it has almost everything. It's high magic, really, not his kind of high, but yeah, but like high and low magic. Low magic is like everyday things like love spells or money spells, like little things you need to survive, you know. And high magic is more like ego death shit, like weird philosophical stuff. Things you got to memorize long spells for, like basically like the wizards you see in medieval fantasy stuff. That's like high magic. A lot of people don't like it because it is a lot to learn. Like this I think this is a lesser advancing Ritual of the Pentagram. Supreme Invoking Ritual of the Pentagram. I haven't learned that one, but it's basically like this is where you make the sign of the cross, say a bunch of things in Hebrew. What I said?
He said about me.
Yeah, Zakane, different covens. Covens are different than... Covens are just a type of witch. No, not a type of witch. They're a group of a type of witches. So there could be an Alexandrian coven. There could be a Wiccan coven, you know? Am I going back to Salem? I would love to, because when we went, it was 99 degrees, it felt like. Yeah. That's very true. Yeah, you should just wear a robe and pretend you're doing actual high magic.
I would love that.
Oh, I do have a pattern for robes, so I could make robes.
You should make me one.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be fantastic.
That would be cool. I would do that.
Right.
But
Don't make me start with the voices.
don't do it. Not on my stream.
Why not?
Oh no.
Hello? Am I in the ether?
Are you astral projecting right now?
Am I astral projecting?
You are astral projecting.
I'm in your mind right now, Dominique. Hello.
Hi. You're there all the time.
It's good to see you.
The gnome!
That's right.
Zakane and the gnomes!
Hello, Zakane. It's good to see you. I just want to get more songs on the album.
Look at your cute face.
I'm gonna sit here while my guitar quietly whimpers.
Yes. Action Figure Addict. A coven like the craft. They were a coven. Covens are usually made of 13 witches, but you know, most people don't even have like
The
13
old baker's
friends.
dozen.
Yeah, that's why. Well, actually, because the number 13 was supposedly like a goddess number,
Okay.
so the feminists say. But I think it's just because has to do with something with Freya. Friday the 13th has to do something with Freya or Jesus. I don't know. I don't know, babe. But I don't really remember. But anyway, so I'm gonna get into the little types. That's hysterical. A commando roll. I would like to see what a commando roll is.
I can see you, Zakane, doing your little rolls.
Oh my god, I love it. Okay, so section 1. Nancy was my favorite character. She's a psycho bitch. I had a... Didn't she have a spike collar? I had a spike collar.
Who are these? Who's Nancy?
You don't remember The Craft?
I didn't watch The Craft.
Of course, you're a boy.
I told you. What year did The Craft come out?
90s? No? Producer! Look it up.
The Craft? Okay.
The gnome is one of the Beatles. Oh no.
That's right. I wrote a song about an octopus.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm going to get into the types of witches. Okay, so section 1 I have here is religious witches. So there's different types of witches just based on religion. Christian witches, Benedicaria witches, which is a specific type of Catholic Italian folk magic, where they practice
Craft
both.
was 1996.
Yeah, where they practice both like a blend of what's like Catholicism so much so, and it's like Spanish people too, where they refuse to say that they're brujas or witches. But like, if you look at what they're doing, it is, you know. But it's so folk magic-y that it's just folk magic. Does that make sense? You know, it's just like I learned that the practice of taking a saint's name during confirmation is a folk practice, which is anything the church doesn't like declare you have to do. The godparents are a folk tradition, I learned as well. So like again, church doesn't say you have to do that.
It's
but
just shit.
it's
It's
so,
just shit
like,
they tell
popular.
you, right? It's just shit they tell you to do. You don't really
No,
have
it's
to
like
do
a
it, right?
traditional, a cultural thing. Is what folk practices are.
Okay.
So like burning candles for 9 days and doing a prayer. Church doesn't tell you to do that, but people do that and it works. So it's a folk practice
Mm.
like your grandma does and passes on to people.
Like why when someone says a name, they spit.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's
it's
like
an
a
evil thing,
superstition.
you
Yeah,
know, like
yeah,
don't bring that energy here.
yeah.
I'll tell you right now, you'll never find me Zakanin.
That's hysterical.
I can hear you. I'm staring at you through the vents.
I was thinking of that. Like you see a top-down view of Sakanin like this,
He's looking around.
and you just hear the voice echoing in his house. It'd be so funny. Okay, so these notes are made from ChatGPT, so they're not like notes I made personally. So, but I obviously added the notes a bit. Pagan witches, which is the most common form, was a Wicca. Hellenic polytheism. I've also done all that stuff. I've worshipped or worked with Egyptian gods, Greek gods, Norse, not Indian, because like I don't know the languages and stuff like that. I think I read briefly the Bhagavad Gita. I briefly skimmed the Quran, stuff like that. Not nowhere near it as in depth, you know. My dad loves the voice. Me too. It's my favorite voice he does. Don't do it again. I see your arm reaching. Don't do it again. Let me get through this list. Pagan witches, like I said, Norse paganism. You still laughing? Oh my god. Jewish witches, like Kabbalah. Hindu Vedic witches. Again, this is what ChatGPT made. I've never heard of like Hindu witches. And Jewish witches, they don't say the word witch. So, I don't know. These are like odd notes. It is AI that made them. Shamanic witches, again, it shouldn't be saying witches after because like they're just shamans or whatever. There's also secular witches, just lack thereof a actual belief system. Like they just like know magic works, you know? You got caught. My dad said, were you reaching to do it again? And again, this is bullshit. Cosmic witches, that should be in the next section. Let me just skip that. That was a shitty section. Okay, so witchcraft practices, which is what I was meaning when I say they say shalom. Okay, that's the Kabbalah. Oh, I had the coolest book too. Kabbalah for Dummies. That was cool. My favorite part of that book, and the part I remember the most, was a part where they talk about the language of branches, where apparently the Bible is written in the language of branches, where it's a code upon a code upon a code, where it's like Israel is a state of mind. The country, whenever it says Israel in the book, apparently that's a state of mind of you being like connected with God, I think it was. So, and then it's like, and then like when it said, I mean, I don't want to misquote anything, but like I think that's what that book said. It was like that. We're like David meant something else. It wasn't a person. It was like all that stuff. It was like super cool. But you know what I mean? I want to get into that, but it's hard to find Kabbalah stuff like that is in English that like non-Jews can study and stuff. But yeah. So anyway, this is the most common. I know this is a long ass episode, and I apologize. So if anyone wants snacks or has to go,
You're going on 3 hours.
I
baby
get
girl.
it. I know. I figured this was gonna go long. That's what I
That's
kind of
fine.
wanted to do earlier or whatever.
Yeah, that's fine. Everybody's having a good time, right?
That's funny.
I know I am. I'm having a blast. It's wonderful to talk about your anniversary.
Okay, since Zakanin asked for factions of witches, this is his faction of witches section. So there's green witches, which work with plants, herbs, nature. They focus on remedies, gardening, healing, gnomes, and fairies and elves and stuff that has to do with like plants and stuff. That was not on purpose that the first one had to do with fae and gardening and gnomes and stuff like that. But the like green witches, they will like talk to plant spirits, they'll name them, they'll have one really cool thing. Beetle gnome. Beetle gnome. Watched Beetle just like a couple days ago. Like green witches, like you know, like how some people say like their familiar is their cat, their house cat. Like green witches will have like spirits of plants that they work with. Like one cool thing is that they have like a protective plant where they're like, this is my house protection plant. So they'll care for the plant, and then in caring for the plant, they're strengthening the protection on their house. You know, there's like a lot of cool stuff like that. Then it's like studying natural remedies and herbs and salves and stuff like that. I did a lot of that. Gardening, working just with plant energy. You could be a green witch, babe, with your favorite plant.
Yeah. First off, when you see Zakanan's pictures, you're gonna laugh your ass off.
I don't have my phone,
Top notch.
and I can't log into Instagram on my computer because I don't remember the
You want me to
password.
show? I'll show you right now.
Yeah.
They're really funny. They made me laugh. Look, he's searching for the note.
Oh my god, that's exactly what I wanted to like see because I just seeing a short film happening. If you compile all these photos, we can
Oh, I
make a
see.
short film and
on
you
this
voice it
on
over.
this picture, I just see the little gnome run right by him, right
Yeah.
here in front of him. Right?
Yep. Ew.
You're very funny, Zakanan, with your little mallet. What are you gonna do with that? Strike me down with your thunder?
I
That
am
ain't
Legion.
gonna
I will multiply.
work. I see you, Zakanan.
The action figure addict talks about Baba Yaga.
With chicken legs? Whoa,
No.
am I in the Matrix right now?
Baba Yaga, I was like, when I studied Slavic mythology. It's hard to find Slavic stuff, like how Norse stuff is so easy to find with all the Vikings and stuff. Like Slavic magic's hard to find. And when I did find a book, it was a lot like voodoo. I did do voodoo and all that stuff too. That was really cool to study because it would talk about Tet, I think, which is the French word for head. Would be there was a head spirit you would have, and that was like your patron Loa. And like I was under the delusion that mine was Baron Samedi because I was born on a Saturday, and he's the I think keeper between life and death. He's like, I don't know if you've ever seen any shows. I can't think of the show right now where it's like a Haitian guy with a skull face painted on and a top hat and a suit. It's kind of like in that movie. What's the movie? Princess and the Frog. The bad guy,
Okay.
Dr. Facilier. He looks like Baron Samedi.
Oh, okay.
But like there's different Loa. There's a Orzuli. There's oh.
What's that?
And in college, there was a witchcraft class. Again, remember what I said about my ego and being like, how I thought I was smarter than people? I dropped out of the witchcraft class because I was like, I know everything. I'm not even joking.
That's funny.
And I don't think I missed much, honestly. Like, it was like we watched a documentary on the witch trials. And like, what was so funny too is that everyone was like mind blown by everything she said. And I was just like, yeah, I know, you know? And then like, it was so funny too, because two things I popped the teacher for. One was like, does anyone know who Shango is? Shango, not Shango. Shango is one of the dorms was named Shango. I don't know if it still is. They changed all the names. But it might still be named that. It was called Shango Hall. People would say Shango, right? But the teacher's like, no, it's Shango. Because it's a Loa of like war, I think. Like an African spirit of war and stuff. You mean like actually Rasputin? I know some. I didn't read much about him, but I know of him. Like Helena. Yes,
Oh.
Papa Shango. Yeah.
Papa
So-
Shango was a wrestler too.
Well, yeah, he was based on the Loa Shango. But anyway, I was the only one in that class to raise my hand and be like, yeah, I know who he is. He's a Loa. He's like a god. And everyone's like, how'd you know that? The teacher's like, how'd you know that? I was like, I don't know. I studied voodoo. And she even said another thing of like,
You are the chosen one.
there was a, let me see if I can find it. I studied like voodoo music too.
Okay.
Cause like music's a big part of that. And hold on, like I was obsessed. I saw Princess and the Frog and I like lost my shit. I was like, this is so cool. Where is it?
Papa Shango, he was great.
There's a song by like an actual like voodoo guy. It's like famous. I'm pretty sure everyone will know if I can actually find him. But I can't find it now. But he's like a popular like singer.
Really?
And like where he would like sing voodoo-esque music or voodoo-inspired music. And again, the teacher was like I can't believe it. It's like it's someone everyone knows.
Like a popular singer?
Yeah, like a popular singer who would sing about like voodoo stuff, but not like, but like subtly, you know, like, but it's not subtle.
Hmm.
Hold on, I'm determined to find it now.
It's not Shaggy, is it?
No,
It wasn't me.
it was like
Papa Shango was a pimp who had a hoe train. That is right. He did turn into the Godfather and became the Good Father. Also, don't forget Kama Mustafa, the Supreme Fighting Machine. That was also one of his gimmicks. And he was just Kama for the nation.
I don't know if anyone knows like what I'm saying.
I have no idea who the singer you're talking about is, baby.
It was just like, if anyone knows like a band where they all wear like those little hats, like a modern band,
I have no
or like, and there's also like another guy from back then that kind of like sung that kind of stuff. Like my brother would probably know.
idea.
I don't know what the genre of music is even,
Yeah.
but like the teacher was like, does anyone know this? And I'm like, yeah, he has this song. And she's like, how do you know that? And I was like, because I studied voodoo music.
Randy Newman.
No, I don't know. It was like Father something. No, not Ghost. Like an African guy, I think. Or I don't know. There was also like a band of
Seal?
white guys who had like the little hats and like would dress in suits. Yeah, the band that we're unless it's sarcasm.
Yeah.
But no, they wear like suits and those little hats.
That is.
But they're like modern. That's the modern people. But there's also another guy from like back in the day that sung stuff like that. I don't know. If I find it, I'll like post a description or something. But like she was shocked I knew who they were. I was like, voodoo's like so cool. Like I dressed like a voodoo.
Whip it good.
I dressed like a voodoo queen for
It was, yes, it was sarcasm.
I don't understand that.
She's very badass. She's like Drax the Destroyer.
Yes, I think it was Screaming Jay. No, it wasn't him specifically, but I know him because I know I like one of his songs. But it similar to him. There's someone around that time period, I think. But then there's also a more modern band that kind of did stuff like that. But anyway, like I just study that stuff.
The Mighty Boss Tones?
No.
No?
The modern one is a band I'm talking about, but then the other one is a guy, like an individual guy that would sing. But anyway, so I would like study all that stuff. That was just difficult to do because it was like, it's not. Some people say it's a closed tradition, but like you need a teacher for that. I think that's why it's a closed tradition because you need to be like initiated into that shit. And also like people don't believe I'm Spanish, you know? So that's like no, none of these people.
It's hard to believe that you're Spanish.
I don't look like it and I don't sound like it, so I get like why I wouldn't be able to find like someone. I mean, whiter people than me are supposedly practicing that stuff or trained in that stuff. Like a mambo, I think is the name of someone who's like a priest, voodoo priest. I don't know. It's been 6 to 8 years since I studied all that stuff. Anyway, back to the list. I don't know where we got off on that tangent or why, but
You really did.
Hedge Witches is the next one. That sounds familiar. Or he's sung about that, right? Yeah, blues music. Yes, I heard his song, but this is not the guy. This is one of the guys I've listened to, because he was talking about selling his soul. But it's not him. It's not the guy I was talking about. But I guess it's that genre, like blues or whatever. So anyway, hedge witches are hedge, like, you know, like a garden hedge. Is like the term for it because it is about jumping the hedge or going over into the spirit world. So it's a lot about going back and forth between this world and the spirit world. So like spiritual journeys, as in like meditations, basically is what it is. I don't know much about hedge witch because it was always like hard to find something that was actually hedge witch. A lot of things would like be combined with hedge witchcraft. So, but it's cool. It's like it reminds me of traditional witchcraft, which is funny because of the name traditional witchcraft. But it's like more like folkloric witchcraft to me, where it's like, no, but I've heard that song.
It's a great song.
I don't know Howling Wolf. But hedge witchcraft is what I talk about. No, traditional witchcraft, where it was like it would talk about familiars. I don't know. Traditional witchcraft is like a very confusing thing to me because it talks about like going to the black mass or the gray mass, something like that, at midnight. So it's like an astral coven meeting, I think. I don't know. I have to research it more, but it's like that's the most mind-blowing one to me because I can't wrap my mind around it. I was like, you tell me you're just practicing magic just in the astral world? Not really, but it was just like weird. And it just reminds me of hedge witchcraft because a lot of their work is done in the other side. I think my caffeine's running out.
So let's drink some more.
Yeah. So then house witches work on, they focus on domestic stuff, so like house protection, talking to your house spirit, giving offerings to like house spirits such as gnomes. Like the Slavics call them the domovoi, which is like a little old man that lives behind your oven, and you're supposed to give him the first of everything. Like you open a thing of milk or juice, you pour the first out for him, and he'll take care of your house and stuff like that. Or like that brownie, house brownie, or like Dobby is a house elf in Harry Potter. Like that's what house witches focus on. Kitchen witch is the same thing except just for the kitchen, like food magic. It's like a combo of like, it's like green witches if they just like ate everything they did, you know, because herbs, spices, and food is all about like you can cast the spell just by cooking. Because you're like, oh, I need money, so you'll throw in basil. Oh, I need love, you'll throw in cinnamon. Blah blah blah, and you just combine. And again, you could give it to the person you want it to affect by feeding it to them, or you could just bake a pie and everyone eats it. And that's like to share love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's hysterical.
So now, is that like when the Hansel and Gretel, right, are going to get baked into the pie by the witch? Does that mean she's a kitchen witch? It's a good question.
That's a good question.
Thank you.
But I think no. Again, like folklore witchcraft is always what I want to study too, because they study what are they called? Those fairy tales, and like use that to practice something like that.
If you will.
But yeah, I'm just like kitchen witches like have aspects of that, but I think eating children is just a metaphor for like staying young or whatever.
Is Baba Yaga a kitchen witch?
No, because she's not confined. Like her magic, I would say she's a house witch, because like her house is like her main thing.
Yeah.
And well, you could say she's again. This is what I don't like about labels. This is why I don't refuse, but like I refused for a while to label myself as one thing, because things mix all the time. Like like a lot of green witches are kitchen witches. A lot of house witches are kitchen witches. Like they combine. So like you could say Baba Yaga is a green witch in the fact that she rides a mortar and pestle instead of a broom, But also you could say she's a house witch because her house travels and she stays in the house all the time. So it's like, I don't know. And then like divination witches, like who isn't a divination witch? Like all these witches either have tarot or they scry or they use like runes or pendulums. So it's like this concept came out recently, like on TikTok, Instagram, Tumblr, where it's like, I'm this type of witch. It's like, no, that's what you just do. Like a lot of people. Oh, I love steampunk. I don't think she's a steampunk witch, no, because nothing's steam powered. It's magic powered.
It's chicken like powered.
Yeah. But like everyone combines all this stuff, you know? That's why they would emphasize, like, while it's fun to know what type you are, it's still like, don't be beholden to that. Like, you can't not read tarot just because you're a green witch, you know? That's not what it's supposed to be about. Elemental witches, they focus on the elements. Again, that's every witch. That's like Wicca. Their focus is on the elements and combining it all evenly so that you're living in balance and harmony with nature. So like to say you're an elemental witch, it's like, what do you mean? Like, duh, you know? Shadow witches, which are like people who work on shadow work, which is like self-therapy, I always term it as. It's like doing the deep personal growth shit, looking at your like, not necessarily demons, but like the stuff you have to change about yourself, or like the trauma, healing trauma through magic, it says. But again, that's just a practice. That's not like, if you call yourself a shadow witch, it's like that's all you do, then you just do shadow work. You're not a witch, you know? Sea witches, again, draws on energy from the ocean, tides, and water. You see seashells. That's just like an aesthetic. A lot of these are just aesthetics. Lunar witches, aligning their practice with the moon phase. Again, that's just what Wiccans do for balance and stuff. Yeah, like it's just specialties. But not everyone. I don't want to speak for everyone, but like most of them combine all this stuff. Like tech witches uses technology as a part of their craft. Digital altars, emoji spells. That's like a whole thing. I don't know if it's real.
What the fuck? Hold on.
What?
Let's rewind that a second.
Emoji spells?
What the fuck?
It was on Tumblr. Tumblr's a whole effing.
Right.
That website was crazy, but people believe, again, because it's the digital era now. And it's funny because it was known in Chaos Magic. Chaos Magic has 5. Can you look it up? I'll do it. 5 paradigms of magic, of psychological, no, 5 magical models of chaos magic. One of them was the technology paradigm, which is where you believe the universe is kind of like a computer, and that you get like downloads, like things work like a computer. And that's like a recent, it's called the information model. There's a spirit model, energy model, psychological model, information model, and the meta model of chaos magic. So that was just a tangent, but the tech witches use like because technology is such a important important aspect of everyday life. They think that it has the same amount of power like as ancient spells and gods. So like they used digital altars. So like if people couldn't practice because people like in their house didn't like it, you would create like a wallpaper on your computer of like your altar, like candles. Like you would just create in paint, like a montage image, and then have that as your wallpaper, and then you could maybe sit in front of your computer and pray in front of it, stuff like that. The emoji spells were always like, what? But at the same time, it's like they're kind of like hieroglyphics. They're tiny pictures that mean a lot. They mean more than one word, you know? Like a laughing emoji, the crying emoji, like that's all a lot.
Yeah.
So this is a lot to process. It is. It's been 14 years of processing, Addict, and I'm trying to give it to you in 3 hours at night on a Saturday and Sunday morning. So I apologize. I kind of I knew to myself that this would take a while.
All right, listen, you know what? I'll take some of the responsibility because I wanted to watch Survivor Series.
It's his fault.
I wanted to watch the war games between the Bloodline and the original Bloodline. Sorry.
So,
Stole Mark.
oh my God.
Sorry.
Yeah, you were popping hard.
Hey,
You fucking mark!
Yeah, literally, that was what I was listening to, thinking. So anyway, like emoji spells, it's like type these emojis to cast the spell. It's like, I mean, like if you believe it, go ahead. I don't know if it ever worked for anyone, but like emojis are like hieroglyphics and sigils. So like a tiny picture that means a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope it's interesting. I mean, I assume it's interesting if there's 10 people still watching 3 hours later.
Yeah.
Um,
Need a sound clip of Raven saying, "What a mark." That's good too. I gotta get that one too.
But yeah, so and online rituals, I've never really heard of that. But then draconic witches, this is what I said earlier, I was practicing before, which is the concept that dragons are higher than deities, and that they're like they're higher in the aspect of they're more primordial and elemental than deities, because deities are like came after, because deities like are gods of like things, or like certain things like love or whatever, like human concepts. But like dragons are like primordial or elemental in the fact that they're like they are air or they are earth, you know. So it's just like putting dragons above gods. Draconic magic surprisingly has a lot to do with like shadow work and like self-growth, which is cool. Yeah, it is. It's like we're going backward in time.
I mean, that's an interesting way to look at it because, like, I've never looked at it. That's actually kind of, you know.
Because you could, I mean, it's not so common anymore, but back a couple years ago, people used to just send emojis as replies.
I made an art picture out of all like the Instagram, you know, those little mini gifs.
Yeah.
So I took Batman and Robin, and I made a building, and they were fighting the Joker on it.
That's cute.
Yeah, I made the whole thing with the night sky and everything.
Yeah.
So you can kind of go crazy with those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, so I get the emoji spells.
Yeah.
What they didn't add here was Fairy Witches 2, which is working with Fae, gnomes, and other things like that, where you're giving offerings in nature and stuff like that. I was doing that for a while. And then there's Eclectic Witches, which just combines all of them, which it's basically all of them. They're all eclectic because they all practice different things. Combine things. What they didn't add, again, I just forgot because like I said, my caffeine's wearing out. Yes,
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
that'd be awesome. That's the goal. What was I gonna say?
It's time for you to wake up.
5 magical models.
5 magical models.
Okay. I don't think this is what I was gonna say. I don't remember what I was gonna say. So I'm just gonna talk about the 5 models of magic because these are one of the most fascinating things to me that isn't spoken of enough, and like it should be, you know, because it applies to more than just chaos magic. It applies to like everyone, in a way. It's
Good
like night.
Right. Good seeing you, man. Thanks for coming through.
Yes, thank you. Okay.
Have yourself a good night. Sweet dream.
Ew. Oh my god. That was cool.
That was cool.
Yeah. Okay, so I was just trying to find the song, but anyway. The reason why. Sorry.
Yeah, what was that?
That was the.
You better not be playing what
It
I
was,
think you're playing.
yeah. I was gonna say. Oh, so the 5 models of Chaos Magic. Did I just close it?
I think you did
I
because
did
you're too
just-
busy trying to play fucking Hall and Oates.
Yeah.
Got that stuck in your head now.
Yeah. Okay, so this applies to everyone, whether they practice magic or not, and I'm interested to see where people stand on these after I explain them. So the spirit models, the first one, it's the oldest model of magic. The basic, because it's what humanity started out as. People who believe in the spirit model is a basic premise is the existence of an other world inhabited by more or less autonomous entities such as spirits, angels, demons, gods, etc. In the spirit model, magic is seen as being affected by these entities. It's the shaman or magician's task to make them put his will into effect. So it's basically like medieval times, like Middle Ages, where people are like, "Oh no, the fairies! Like they cursed my cow and it died," like stuff like that. Like caveman stuff, where they believe, not caveman, but that's another thing. That's sympathetic magic is what caveman practiced.
Really?
Yeah, because they would draw themselves killing an animal.
Okay.
They would like draw a successful hunt and then like go out and hunt. That's what my archaeology teacher said. Is that they would draw and then go out as like a way to either plan or manifest a kill. He's like, did that work? No, probably not. I'm like, it obviously did if we're here. They were successful more than they were not. So maybe it was magic, and that they were manifesting a successful hunt by drawing it first on the wall. You know, even if it is to teach everyone like the game plan.
Yeah.
But regardless, that was my like. I got
think
mad
it's
at
trying to teach the young. How
Yeah.
they just point at the wall and go.
Oh my god, probably.
Yeah.
And then also it's just like what was it? Yeah, so if you believe in spirits, ghosts, that things have spirits, like plants have spirits where you ask, or there's fae living in certain aspects of land. A lot of people don't believe in this anymore. Certain places do, like not like third world countries do, like even, but not all just third world countries. Like Norway and Sweden, they have people, shamans come and ask the gnomes, and the other spirits that live in the hills before excavating and doing construction. They have to ask them to see if it's okay and stuff like that. And if they say no, then they don't build there. Like superstition basically is the spirit model of like people were like, oh, be careful, like the spitting, like you said, like worrying about ghosts. Like a lot of deep cultures still believe this. Like me, I'm Spanish. Like my mom thinks that like if you hear a knock at the door and it's no one there, don't open it, because if you open it, then something just walks in your house. You know, like stuff like that. That's a spirit model. Believing, and also believing the spirit model is where you can offer prayers, offerings like milk, stuff like that. Sometimes you can even command spirits during ritual, which is what you do in demonology practices, not demonolatry, because that's not respectful. That was the thing I was going to talk about
What's
earlier.
the difference?
Demonolatry is where you, I touched on it earlier, but it's where you respect demons as gods, pre-Christian gods. Demonology is saying God's higher than you, the angels are higher than you. I'm commanding you because I'm God's child. So you spirit, you demon, listen to me because God made you, so I have the right over you. That's demonology, where you like do the Bible and stuff, you say all that stuff, then you command the demon. It's very disrespectful to demonolators or witches. It's like you don't command. That's why people have problems with demons, they say, is because you're commanding them to do shit instead of asking nicely.
Yeah.
Basically, they're demanding, and the demonolators ask nicely. It's the difference. Then there's the energy model, which just says, this model suggests that everyone and everything contains an esoteric energy that can be perceived, altered, moved, and manipulated. So it's like yoga, auras, manifesting, kind of the energy model. A vampirism, where you're like believing you're sucking energy of people, that's energy model. Cyballs, there was a whole thing early YouTube era where people thought that they could create, like they would go like this, like Naruto or Dragon Ball Z or whatever, where they could like feel energy in their hands.
Yeah.
That's basically what this stuff
Kamehameha.
is. Stuff like that. Where have you seen those old YouTube videos where people are like it's an old monk and he like turns off a flame or whatever,
Yeah.
or he like turns it on or something like that? That's using that. Also, like how they say, leaving water under the full moon to charge it with lunar energy, or making solar energy, which is a lot of Wiccans believe. So that's, or grounding earth to earth energy, believing crystals have energy, that's energy model. Psychological model, which I think a lot of skeptics nowadays, and it's like a rise with the modern super scientific era is a psychological model, where it suggests that the unconscious mind manifests conscious will through the use of trance or gnosis symbolism. Okay, so it's posits that we have the ability to shape our own reality if we condition ourselves and our minds to do so. Basically saying that this is magic's placebo. That's what the psychological model is. Belief is placebo. It's basically, they should just call it the scientific model. The information model is new, it says. It says the basic premise of the information model are as follows. That A, energy is dumb and needs information on what to do. So this could be called the laws of nature, direct commands, kind of like coding for a computer, programming.
Okay.
You're telling things what to do. Information does not have mass or energy, thus it is faster than light and not bound by the restrictions of the Einsteinian space-time continuum. And it can therefore be transmitted or tapped at all times and all places. Is this talking about like the collective unconscious then? I don't know. Hold on. I always took it as like the computer model where you're just like, or we think we're in a simulation.
Yeah.
That's just what I take that one as. And then the meta model, which is using whatever suits you. So I like to do that where I go between the spirit model and then like energy model. I just prefer the spirit model because like it's so easy. Like you know what to do. Like this is the spirit. This is what I'm asking it. This is its offering. It's just, to me, it's the easiest. But also like, I guess energy model too, because like is that about prayer? Yeah, it's just like about you charge a sigil, so I guess I would say I mainly, when I'm doing magic, I mainly operate under the spirit and energy model. But I think a lot of skeptics are like psychological model. I think everyone operates under a model without knowing it. I think like if anyone here, I mean, I think most of you guys are skeptics, so I think you probably would be psychological model. But
psychological model.
Yeah.
I only believe in what I say.
No, it's everything's a placebo. I'm trying to like get a better definition of the information model, but it's not.
You find those models. Otherwise, I'm gonna eat your soul through your ass. No,
Did you just say what I think you said?
I said I'm gonna eat your soul through your ass.
That's what I thought you said.
Yeah, spread the cheeks. Right through the butthole.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. That's how I roll.
Stop.
Anybody else awake right now? Paying attention?
Oh my god. See, like for example, I can't get it back. My computer froze, so that's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, there it
Oh,
is.
there you go. Yeah, because you froze on camera here.
We're having technical difficulties.
There's
I-
a lot.
and I don't know
There's
why.
a lot going on at once. You need to stop it all, man.
So, like for example, it says a Christian green witch would like pray to a saint of gardening, Saint Fiacre, actually is his name.
Okay.
While like tending to her garden and then making some salves or a spell out of the herbs she just grew while praying to a saint. Like that's a Christian green witch, you know, like it just combines seamlessly with all that stuff. So it's
So you're
just like,
basically saying that witchcraft is no different than any religion, or vice versa. They're using all the same type of practices and superstitions and beliefs and practices.
not necessarily, because there is left-hand path, middle path, and right-hand path. Left-hand path is where you put yourself as the highest thing, and you don't want to, and so it's all about your own personal evolution.
Okay.
So it's like Luciferianism is the best example, or other like Satanism is the left-hand path. Right-hand path is where you want to dissolve with oneness. It's about, I think, ego death is a term where you want to become one with God or Creator. You don't care about your own personality existing anymore. You just want communion with that, and you're following that path just straight there. Middle path is combining a little bit of both. I don't know. what a middle path. There's a middle pillar exercise in here, which is trying to like balance both aspects. I think. I don't know. I didn't really.
Can I be honest with you? I hate to cut you off.
Yeah.
I forgot you were in this room just now.
What does that even mean?
Until you took. No, I didn't know you were in this room
Oh,
until you picked up that book and I heard it. I heard him. I said, "What the fuck is that?" And I look and I just saw you sitting. Right
because we're
there.
so used to being in separate rooms while doing these streams, but now our desks are right next to each other.
Oh my god, I'm pretty baked.
Oh my god. I'm almost done. I will spare all of you any longer of this in a bit.
I like you. You're crazy.
But
You're crazy.
so witchcraft, to answer your question, is not the same as religion because the intent is different. Because like a lot of witches are left-hand path because it's all about them.
Okay.
Good night, Roll Keeper. Sorry I went on so long.
All right, Roll Keeper. Thanks for hanging out, brother. Hopefully we catch you tomorrow on the pre-roll.
Like right-hand path is like the major religions. They want to like be with their god.
Yeah.
They want to just like dissolve themselves into it. A drop in the ocean is the right-hand path, is what a lot of people say, which is why a lot of like left-hand path people don't like the right-hand path because they're like, why do you want to just like blend in with everyone? Like, why don't you be cool and badass and like special on the left-hand path and like put yourself above everything, or like focus on yourself, not, I don't know. But yeah, so it's not the same because it's about your intention. If your intention as a witch is to like, I don't know, unite with the god and goddess and like just be with them, then you could say your right hand path. A lot of people say Wicca's like right hand path because it puts a large emphasis on deities.
Yeah. It's not on you.
Yeah.
So what's the third one?
The middle path.
Yeah.
I don't know. I only saw like a good explanation of it like once, and I barely remember. But it's supposed to like be a combination.
Like a gray Jedi.
Yeah.
They say it doesn't exist because God forbid a gray Jedi should exist.
But there's also a thing called the middle pillar exercise. It's somewhere in here, but it's more of an energetic thing where it's supposed to balance your
No, in pro wrestling we have a name for that. We call them a tweener.
tweener.
Yeah.
That's funny. People could call me that because I can't pick an effing side.
Yeah, you're definitely a tweener.
Yeah. But like, I don't know. Like right now I would say if anything Christian mystic, because I'm studying that stuff. Like this is the best magical book of all time. The most powerful magic book of all time. Like that's why the Bible is so powerful. Because it's, even if it is belief, that's thousands of years of belief and energy spent in this. So you can't diss the Bible, even if you don't believe in it. You can't diss it because it's the first book published.
Or superhero, man. Jesus.
That first book, like always, is like the most important book in history, you could argue. So even if it's not true, I mean, I think it is, at least parts of it. It's still so powerful because of all the years and millennia of belief.
Yeah.
That's basically what I'm saying. And like apparently it's so powerful that it's effing that like one cool but it's again like there's so much like witchcraft in the basic stuff too, because like a folk practice, like you could do a healing ritual by putting someone you know who's sick, their photo next to a psalm or next to a psalm about healing, and just put their face in the Bible. I forgot the term for that spell. Like let's say like I don't know.
It's lazy.
No, it's not, because the belief is that this book is so powerful in and of itself that it's all you need to do. That's why they say like demons burn with holy water, or a Bible or cross, or like vampires, like they can't look at a cross because it's that powerful. Like that's all you need to, like they say the pages of a Bible are so powerful because of the words written on it and stuff like that. Like that's again, is it just belief? Is it just placebo, or is it fact? Like you know, the amount of success over the millennia that it's been around. Like you could argue that it is one of the most powerful like grimoires ever written.
Absolutely, yeah, because like you just said, it's been around for millennia.
Yeah. But I had a phase where I defamed, or what's the word?
I was told.
What's the word when you like blaspheme? Or I would like
Blaspheme.
blaspheme this because I didn't. Again, it's probably what religious trauma have I had? I don't know. But just didn't want to be Christian, so I just like would write on it.
I was told that you could use that paper to smoke weed on. I don't know if it's true.
It's very, very thin paper,
I don't
and
know if
I'm
it's
very
true.
curious about like how thin the paper is
I don't
because
know if
like
it's true, but I heard you can make it. It's like wrapping paper. Wrap. I don't know if it's true.
I wouldn't doubt this
quote
is
me.
like thin ass paper, but
Not a demon, not telling you to say the Bible. But I heard through the grapevine that
through the grapevine that got me.
you rip a page out for a little bit of all that shit, you might be able to spark that shit and get that shit. You know what I'm saying?
No one would have say. But yeah, defile. I guess that's not the word because it sounds like graphic.
Defame.
That's what I said first. I think the word is blaspheme. Like I would write like fake on it or something like that.
That's defame.
Yeah, I guess.
That's defame.
But I was like, that's not cool.
Besmirch. The British say.
Something like that.
Yeah, you're gonna besmirch the good book.
But I'm just like, nah. Like that's dumb, childish shit. Like why don't you just realize that this is powerful for a reason? It's in every hotel room for a reason, you know?
Yeah.
It's like people swear on it for a reason. Like it's the first book and the only book that's like been translated as much as it has. And
Isn't that what when you take the stand, they make you put the
Yeah.
hand on there and say so? Help me
it's
God,
like,
right?
what is the reason of that unless there's something to it, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's what I'm just studying. I would like, again, I wish I took that Bible class study. I would love to just have like, even if it's like a group live stream where we all just like get our Bibles out and just like study it together. Like I'd love that shit. That would be so cool. Not to convert people. I'm not saying convert people, but I'm like, there's so much nuance in it. And like I said, I want to learn the language of branches where it's like, is everything a code?
Yeah.
Because like, that's
You want to break down the book, not like spread the word.
Yeah.
I get you.
Yeah.
You want to Da Vinci code it.
Yeah. Oh my God. I was obsessed with that movie.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to be. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It was just comic book writing. They were like, let's say that he walked on water. Why? Because then people will be like, oh my God, he is higher than us. It's like godlike.
That's again, it's like, are things metaphors or are they real? That's why it's so amazing too, because you could read it in any way and it still holds the same power. You could read it as a complete skeptic and think it's a comic book story.
To circle back to my point, because you just literally said what I was about to say. That's why comic books worked for me. Because I could attribute like the fact that Superman flew. Right? Obviously aliens don't exist. I mean, they might, who knows? But like at the time, we're not thinking that they exist, right? And it's just about a man who is godlike, but has to pretend that he's human to understand us.
Yeah.
So Superman is who he is. Clark Kent is the costume.
Yeah.
So it's like he has to like be like us because it's like, you know, like a god wants to be like, I don't say weak, but he wants to be like mortal. It was pretty interesting to me, Superman. So it was like shit like that. And I would read that stuff and kind of understand the message there. That even though he had godlike powers, he didn't turn into a tyrant. He used them to help people. You know, because he had good parents who raised him right.
Yeah.
And taught him, this is what you do. You help your fellow man. If somebody's in trouble, you help. You know,
that's literally like what Jesus did.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't need the Bible for that. I had Superman and Batman, who had his parents killed in front of him and could have become a criminal, could become a drug addict. Instead, he fought crime and took kids off the street and tried to teach them that you can do more than just be another number, another statistic.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not from a terrible neighborhood in Queens, but it was bad. There's a lot of drugs. It was, you know, there's a lot of shit that went down there. Criminal activities and shit like that. So you don't want to be another one of those, you know, and Batman and shit like that inspired me to not. So it's the same way as if someone read the Bible and was like, Jesus inspired me to be better. You know, it's the same. It's just my Bible was, you know, a Batman compendium. You know what I'm saying? It's just not the book that you hold in your hands. Although, but that's to me, that's the thing. I understand the power of that book.
Mhm.
because of what you just said, the years of belief in it.
Mhm.
Just the way all of us believe in Batman.
Mhm.
Batman has power. He's real because he's real to us. The same way
Funny you
Je-
said that.
Jesus is real to everybody because they believe in that book.
Funny you mentioned we believe in Batman. He's real to us. There's a thing called pop culture magic, which is so much fun. Where because movies have a following like they do, or comic book characters have a following. Just look at the toy community with action figures, and based on characters that people know everything about for years and they grew up with it. You know what I mean? To pop culture magicians, it's the same as a god, because back then, like in Greek times, people knew as much about their gods as we do about our celebrities, our movie characters. So it's arguing that doesn't matter how old something is, if there's enough people into it, it has power. So like the concept is like you could pray to Batman for justice. Like maybe you have a court battle and you pray to Batman and you give him an offering or something like that, and you're like, please help me, please help justice prevail or whatever. You need help, and you pray to Superman. I don't know. Like that's what pop culture magicians do, because they believe that, like you just said, it's real to them. It's real to so many people that like it doesn't have to be thousands of years old to have the same power. It's just about belief. So I mean, I guess I could circle back to what Jeff said, which is the most important, which is literally my point. He said my point at the beginning. It's like, it's a shame that religion has been so like twisted, because like you said, faith is important.
It is.
Whether that's in a concept, a god, values, ethics, justice, even like America and the American dream, shit like that. Like you need something.
Yeah.
Love. It's basically what I'm trying to say. But like for me, it's religion, because like I love what it's supposed to help people. I used to think it was like, I used to be that rebel who was like, oh, it's just meant to control the masses. It's just like opium for the masses. I think that's what Stalin said about religion. He called it opium for the masses or something like that. I was like, yeah, it is. I was like, I'm an atheist, I'm a Satanist, whatever. It's like, bro, chill. Like, you're not seeing all the good it's done. It shaped countries. Like, it shaped our laws. Like, we can have okay lives because like, do not murder is the effing in the 10 commandments. Like, you know? Like, that's how we're able to like function. Like with the help of religions back then. Exactly. Oh yeah.
That's true, man.
And what JK said earlier, I had it here. You talk about Edgar Allan Poe. That was my shit. Edgar Allan Poe made me become a writer. But before, I just wanted to paint. I just wanted to draw. I was a really good artist. I guess you could still say I am. I just out of practice. Like, I would just draw anime people though, because I couldn't draw realistic people. I was good at drawing realistic animals, but not people. I would just draw anime characters. I wanted to be a manga artist. And I was like, that's too hard. And then when I got to 11th grade, we read Edgar Allan Poe. And I'm like, yo, this shit's awesome. So I was like, let me just write. And then when I got to college, I was like, wait, I could combine art and writing into film. So I became a filmmaker. But I've always wanted to do, oh my God, H.P. Lovecraft is what I got into. And that's what basically a lot of my movies are based on. Like, I have a following of H.P. Lovecraft fans from a couple H.P. Lovecraft movies I did. I love his concept of cosmic fear.
They did a Batman Lovecraft with, I forgot what it was. It was a Gotham by Gaslight. I don't know if it was. Where like Cthulhu comes, he dies. Batman dies at the end. You said that the main character always dies at the end.
Yeah.
Right?
Or he either goes insane or he dies. That's literally the only two endings of a Lovecraft.
I forgot which Batman movie it was. You guys know. It was based off of Lovecraft.
Yeah, you told me. I mean,
awesome.
Batman's already based off because Arkham.
Yeah.
Arkham is what Lovecraft made up. The town.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be based on Providence, Rhode Island, I think, where he was born and raised. Cosmic horror, not cosmic fear, is what H.P. Lovecraft writes. And it's the concept that like humans are so small and insignificant to like divine beings that there's nothing really we can do. Prayer doesn't work, none of that works. Like we just have to deal with the fact that we're like nothing compared to what's out there. and I feel like it's the opposite of religion in a way. I can't read Lovecraft. I always just listen to like synopsis or just listen to the stories because like his shit is so long, which is why I prefer Poe because he's the father of short stories. They said, but like Lovecraft didn't know when to shut up. And Zakana, there's like a weird section of like witchcraft people that like practice like worshiping the elder gods and shit. It's like weird shit. Like I haven't been like I was like I'm good. I don't want to deal with anyone that believes that that's real or that wants to even like work with that type shit, you know? Because it's just like, bro, like just enjoy the book. Like what are you doing? Like, you know, like they say in like you study Enoki and you go crazy just because that's angels, and I'm just like, you don't think working with the elder gods gonna make you go crazy? Like you would say angels, like whatever. But yeah. He didn't know when to shut up. It's like, bro, get to the point. Like at least Poe, you could read a couple short stories in an hour, but like
That's why I like
Lovecraft was
Robert E.
writing
Howard.
multiple like books.
The Conan stories were always short.
Yeah. It's like not Lovecraft. I have like 3 books by him, and I'm just like,
To the other side. Come with me. Read my book. I am Cthulhu, and I will destroy you.
That work?
no. I have like 3 Lovecraft movies located on my channel. The Collector, that's one of my
He
favorites.
says Lovecraft is definitely better on Audible.
Yeah, definitely. He's an audiobook author. He is not a
Yeah.
read author.
A long time ago, in a universe very far away.
And he was in a Lovecraft movie. He was in Cats of Uthar.
Who?
You.
Hey, oh yeah, try that one.
And there's one other
I was the wizard.
for Barzai.
Harry.
Didn't I have another Lovecraft movie? Did I have 3 or just 2? Oh, The Guild. A little series I made. A little Halloween series I made based off of
I don't know if Cthulhu would speak.
I don't think he speaks at all.
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. But I could have a whole thing on Lovecraft because I love Lovecraft so much.
You do, yeah, you do.
But I think I've put you guys through enough misery for tonight. It's almost 4 hours.
Yeah.
I
Really
I
locked
think
us
it's
down.
because number 1, this is a topic I'm very passionate about, if you couldn't tell. Number 2, it's been a long ass time since I did a live stream. So I'm kind of making up for it. So that's why I combine the types of witches. And 3, I had a shit ton of caffeine today, so I think that's the only reason why.
Well, I'm glad that you did this because you almost didn't.
Exactly. I really
happy.
did want to. I was like, oh my god, canceling again would be so annoying to people.
Yeah, I'm glad that you went through it and you got it done. You did a good job.
I'm trying to balance like YouTube and my apron stuff now. Cause like I got a craft fair next week. I gotta get shit out for. I gotta have stuff on my Etsy too. So it's like and then I got Christmas gifts. So I'm making like aprons for 3 types of occasions, and then also trying to balance YouTube, and then also work starts Monday again. So
You know, you gotta do what you gotta do. Everybody knows you got a life. Everybody knows you got things you gotta take care of. So don't worry. You did a great job. You did a great job today.
thank you.
And
Thank you,
I'm
Zakana.
very proud that you sold an apron.
Thank you.
That's the first of many.
Yes.
They're very good aprons. You did a very good job.
Thank you.
I watch how much you work, how hard you work for them. So I'm very proud of you.
Thanks.
Can I put stuff over now?
Yes, but I can thank everyone for being here,
Yeah.
especially there's still 6 people after almost 4 hours, which is
Uh,
insane.
Awesome.
Yes.
You know, you say that you're not interesting, but listen, all these people wouldn't stay.
I honestly don't know what you guys think. If you guys are interesting or you're just here because us and we could just be talking about like the news, we could just be reading the newspaper and you guys would watch. I don't know. I don't know if you guys actually like magic stuff.
This is
'cause
so
I
much
do.
fun. I'm glad to tune in later.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, man. I think you should have a little bit more faith in yourself. Thank you. You don't give yourself enough credit. I think you're very
Yeah.
good at this,
Thank you.
especially when you're passionate about it, because you were able to talk for 3 hours, almost 4 hours.
Again, yeah, I think I could. I thought I was going to be a professor and like teach this stuff.
Well,
But
this is
that's
good
why I
practice.
tried to get a religious studies degree.
Good practice.
Yeah.
Don't stop learning. You never stop learning.
No.
Continue to study.
Mhm.
Continue to better yourself. You know.
Yeah.
I love learning how to defend myself against the dark.
Well, I was
arts.
gonna have like a video series where I like make it look all like
It's okay,
fantasy.
You can defend yourself against the dark arts, but you will never defend yourself against me. I'm watching you, sitting at your computer desk, just staring off into space.
Oh my god, he's probably dying laughing.
Oh my god. You know what? This thing.
Oh yay! Thank you.
I'll see everybody loves
I'm
it.
so happy everyone likes us.
Yes. Yes. And I gotta say that 3/4 inch shirt that Zicane had, the Legend Series shirt,
Yeah, that's
was
cool.
awesome. I actually might get that for myself. That was a nice shirt. But anyway, tomorrow at 11:30, JMK will be on.
AM?
Yeah, AM. JMK and his dad will be on the channel. I think it was the GI Joe 3D printing podcast.
Ooh.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Mikey, if you wanna put it in the
Yes.
chat, you're more than welcome to. If you guys are up that early, you know, even though that's
Even though I kept you guys awake until 3
it's
a.m.
not that early. It's 11:30 in the morning, you guys, Eastern Standard, so you have plenty of time to sleep. Go check that out, man. Watch Mikey, and then of course the pre-roll tomorrow at 10:05 sharp.
Aw, thank you.
I'm opening up a couple of Street Fighter figures tomorrow, and we're going to talk about the 25 Days of Christmas. I'm going to talk about the stuff that I want. I'm going to make a Christmas list for my wife live on stream for everybody.
Oh,
We're
what?
going to look at toys and stuff that I want. So get ready. We're going to have a good time.
I'll have pen and
night.
paper ready.
Of course, we'll be back with a bunch of fun clips to watch, things to do, things to talk about. Of course, JMK, anything for you, bud. Like I said, if you want to share the link, you're more than welcome to. We'll be watching you and your dad talk about G.I. Joe. Hopefully, Zakanen will show up if I haven't smothered him in his sleep.
Oh my god, that was funny. He sent us a new photo. He said,
Oh shit! Okay, all right.
"Okay, so once this stops being live, I think like normal comments pop up, so you can put it in the comments."
Hold on. G.I. Joe 3D printing, right? I think it's right here. Yeah, it is. I found it. A couple of kooks. Look at that. Oh, got him. All right. Look at this, live on stream. There you go. Booyahs. Booyakashas. There you go, guys. There's the link. Hit that,
Only mods or set a new website.
hit
This is
that,
occasionally only mods can share.
hit that, yeah, hit that link. Go and make sure you're ready to watch. Mikey and his dad talk some G.I. Joe and
Talk
stuff like that.
figures.
We're gonna see Cammy's Yammies.
Yeah,
I don't really care about the yams.
because you got these yams whenever you want.
I got that outside.
You got those Dominican yams. It's like, keep
Did you
talking.
say Dominican yams?
Uh-huh.
Is that what you said?
Whippa.
What?
Si, mami.
Ew! Oh my goodness. Oh, do you see my little business card?
She's got new business cards. She does.
Oh, it's
A
upside
little
down.
cottage full of aprons. Go over to her Instagram and give that a follow if you haven't. If, like I said, if you want to get into a fight with your wife, why don't you buy an apron?
Like, here,
You know?
get in the kitchen, bitch, and
Give
make
that to her
some.
as a gift. You'd be like, hey, maybe you should maybe get in the kitchen a little bit more. Stop being such a pain in my ass. You know, we don't know. You know, but I don't want to start no fights. So, I appreciate you letting me put things over, babe. And I hope I hope I didn't annoy you today.
A bit, but you always do. 'Cause I love you.
You know what? I'll do what I want when I want. You understand?
Okay.
I control the voices. Here, I am God.
Ew. The reflection on your eyes looks really creepy. Get in the kitchen tent. He said it was like super cold outside, and I was like, time for the tent.
It was freezing.
I would
out.
have died.
We had some problems because the air was coming in through the window. We had a draft. And it
I
was
still
very
feel
cold.
it, so I don't know if there's a ghost in here.
It's this. think it's the air conditioner. We got to cover
Oh.
that. Yeah, we got to cover that. So
That's funny. What if I bought the apron for myself and told her to get out of my kitchen? I don't have a wife.
okay, well she is making guys.
I was gonna make male aprons. Yeah.
Yeah, she is doing. Is that his bedroom voice?
Yes and no. Sometimes, maybe. Ew!
Bend over and touch your toes.
Oh no!
I'm gonna show
Stop.
you where the wild goose goes.
Ew! I hate that phrase.
Baby, I'm gonna butter your bread.
You should have said biscuit.
You like that biscuit stuff, don't you?
You like that biscuit stuff, don't you? Oh my god.
Oh my god. You have no idea what I'm gonna do to that ass.
Ooh.
Ooh, you like that, huh?
Yeah. Look at that face.
If I spoke like this all the time, would that not freak you out?
No,
Oh yeah.
I'm already starting to like it more and more.
Ooh.
Especially that. Ooh.
Oh, look at this, everybody. If you'll excuse me, I have to wax that ass.
Oh my god. That's funny.
What about this one?
Oh no.
What if I started
Imagine
to,
I
you
just
know,
end the stream right now as you start talking about that.
you know, smooch you on the lips, then work my way down. Then I look up and I say,
Isn't that
like,
good?
isn't that good? Yeah.
That was good. Oh my god. It's like, isn't
Use
that good?
Use the voice and ask her to pick up some turkey flatbread things.
Oh my god.
Hey, do me a favor. Why don't you go to Taco Bell and get me some of those flatbread things?
No, isn't that from Dunkin'?
Oh, yeah,
Or
give me some of those
Starbucks.
turkey sausage flatbread things.
That's from Starbucks though.
Yeah, I like those too. Work your way down.
More like up.
Wait, one more like that? You got it.
Cause that's your hell voice.
Oh, this is my voice. I wonder how Estelle would sound with a monster voice.
I could barely understand what you're saying with this voice though. It's pretty hard. No.
Picture it. 1972. I was sitting on the edge of a stage and someone walked by. His name, John Oates. Right there, I'm telling you the story it happened. Let me tell you something. My kiss was on his lips.
Okay, I want to see how. Damn it! I was gonna like do this as you were talking, and just have you fade out.
Those are the.
You know, my father was a cokehead. My mother's in the kitchen teasing her hair. Long story short, the meatballs wind up getting burnt.
Wait, I'm gonna say goodnight, everyone, and then you're gonna keep talking. And I'm gonna do the slow zoom out, slow fade out.
Slow fade out, what are you talking about?
Hey, goodnight, everyone.
Good night, everyone. I'm gonna haunt your dreams. Listen to me, everybody. I'm gonna be watching as you sleep. I'm gonna be there, huffing and puffing in the background.
Aww, he's back. I forgot. Oh my gosh, I forgot to loop.
Good night, everybody. Please watch the pre-roll. This will all just continue over to that tonight.
Oh my
10
goodness.
p.m. It'll just get crazy off the rails.
Yep.
So, bye, everybody.
Okay, bye.
Uh,